And welcome back, everybody. My name is Julius, and I am here with another one of the Freeform Conversation podcasts that we have had. This series has been going on for a bit over a month at this point, so I'm glad to keep up with the consistency and each week having a different and unique person on the other end of the mic from me. And I'm excited to have someone who I actually did podcast with recently on the comic book podcast, We Tolerate Comics. It is Daniel. How are you, Daniel?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on again.
Yeah, it's cool.
Always fun. Different format.
Yeah.
But I'm down. I'm excited. Thank you.
Of course, we used to do a lot of podcasting, like, say, every week. Yeah. We would do podcasting a lot back on the original channel of Goat Movie Podcast, where we would talk specifically about, like, comic book movie news and everything.
Of course.
And a lot of these topics... Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got it. A lot of these topics... have happened, because a lot of them were news oriented, you know what I mean? Right. I remember one specific one we were talking about was, it's one I miss actually listening to. It was, we were talking about the trailer for Vice you remember the movie Vice with Christian Bale about Cheney and everything?
Oh, Vice. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember the trailer, but yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that movie.
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie? You saw the movie?
No, I ended up not seeing it.
Oh, okay.
I never watched it.
I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to watch it, but I never saw it. But props to Bale's transformation, because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. He gained all that weight and everything.
I know, from the Machinist to Cheney to Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's a beast.
Yeah.
He's that's crazy. His body transformations, at least, are insane.
What does that do to someone? Like, I mean, does that
ages them?
It ages them, right?
Yeah.
It
ages them.
Affects them in a negative way.
Yeah.
Heavily or lightly? I guess it depends.
I don't know about for him. Oh, I mean, his are drastic. You know, his body transformations are so drastic. So I would assume yes, maybe. Mm-hmm. Especially on the Machinist, that didn't look healthy at all. I mean, not that Cheney looked healthy either, but
he went to both extremes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. That's what 3 times, or with Batman. But Batman, that's a healthy body change.
Yeah.
So let's say 2 times he did it in a bad way, and it was drastic.
And also American Hustle.
Oh, that's
right. He gained weight for that.
That's
also.
Right. He did. I know for fighters, for like UFC fighters, if they, cutting all that weight, it ages them. So right now there's a fighter called Paddy Pimblett, and he's very young, and he's able to lose the weight. So he gains. He's fighting at 155, and he gains up to and over 200 pounds.
How tall is he?
He's short.
Oh, he's a short guy?
Yeah. He's not tall. I don't know his actual. I think he's like 5'8" or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
That, 5'9", something like that. But he's not super tall.
Yeah.
But he makes the weight. He shows up on game day, on fight day, and he's ripped. He's shredded, meaning he worked really hard to cut from 200 to 155 and be shredded, have like almost no body fat, no body fat.
How's his style? Is he good at
what
he's
great.
Does?
He's great. Yeah, he's been getting up finishes. He's great. He's like the next, if he continues to win, he can be the next big thing, but losing and gaining all this weight just because you can stick it to the man because everybody says it's dangerous.
Yeah.
He can, and he does. He hasn't missed weight yet, so he can, but it does age you. It will age him.
Yeah.
Like maybe right now it's funny and it's like, okay, I can do this. And, but later I think it might affect him, or maybe it won't. But I'm assuming that's what happens when you cut weight and change your weight that much,
Yeah, I mean,
so for Bale though,
Bale
he's done it drastically, but only a few times, not as much as a fighter who does it for every fight. So I don't know, but I'm sure how extreme those changes were did something to him. I'm sure
it must have, because he's come out and said he's not doing that type of stuff anymore for his roles.
Oh.
Like I think Vice was it, because Vice he gained also like I don't know the percentage of body fat he added.
He looked like Cheney.
He did.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's
so, like,
it.
That's it. He just looked like the guy.
Well, I
so
think
like
he-
if you picture the guy, Christian Bale looked like him.
I
Like,
think
there's
he
no difference,
gained.
really.
I think he gained the weight for younger Cheney because in the movie you see young Cheney where he is like a meaty kind of guy and everything. He's big.
Yeah.
Bale Bale is fat. He looks
Right,
like
right.
a redneck and everything. And then later on,
Yeah.
as Dick Cheney gets older, he comes really big. And I don't think Bale, got that big.
Right.
I think they probably added like a suit or something. That would have been fucking crazy if he had gotten like throughout the process.
Maybe no.
Like I don't think they could. I don't think
No?
I think he died, dude. Like I think he would just because they're
just
I think he would literally just die.
Yeah, maybe.
Like because if you see the movie, and I would recommend watching it.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. I actually
Yeah, I
rewatched
heard
it
it's
recently.
good, so-
It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, he is big. He looks like Dick Cheney, exactly like him.
Wow.
And I'm actually curious what you're gonna think about it
Okay.
because it does focus on the Iraq War, what led to those decisions. Like
Oh.
we've talked a lot about in the
Right,
past,
right.
comic book shit. So they actually make kind of references to elements like that of like. This guy, it's Adam McKay, I believe, who's the filmmaker, the guy who did Anchorman,
Right,
and
right.
Recently Don't Look Up. So he
I
tries to
see.
do the political satire,
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
kind of goofy but understandable. And he said, at one point he was like, and this guy, he wasn't just a politician anymore. He became Galactus, devourer of worlds, and it dissolves to a panel from a comic book and everything.
Whoa.
It's pretty funny,
That's cool.
Yeah. Do you try to watch like movies like that? Like, because I've been getting into a lot of movies that are like about, recent history, whether it be political or.
It's funny that you say that. On accident, I fell asleep, and not on accident, but I fell asleep.
You
like
just
when you
fell
pass
asleep.
out, and I wasn't planning on passing out.
You're right.
But I woke up to 13 Hours, the movie on Benghazi.
Benghazi,
Yeah.
Michael Bay's film.
Michael Bay's film
Yeah.
with
John Krasinski, right?
John Krasinski, there you go. And then this other actor who was also in a Netflix movie called Spectral.
And
he's
also
in that movie.
Roy from The Office.
Oh yeah, he's in.
He's
yeah,
in
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's right. That's right. But yeah, it's not bad. I don't hate it. It's a lot of Michael Bay. For a long time, and straight, it gets kind of repetitive, but it's still good. It's a lot of action that I appreciated. I liked it. It was tense. So, I'm a Michael Bay fan. So,
All of Michael Bay's stuff.
not all of Michael
I was
Bay,
about
no,
to
of
say
course.
he's
Come
been
on,
messing with
man.
some of your
Yeah.
stuff.
Of course.
The
of course.
Transformers.
Oh, no.
The Turtles.
No, yeah, I don't like. I don't like the Turtles. I
Yeah.
don't.
Those
I'm
new
not
films?
of the new Turtles.
Yeah.
No. I'm a fan of the '90s. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
is the first one at least.
Yeah.
The second one I think is fun. I like it.
Secret of the Use.
Yeah, I mean that's just a good time.
Yeah.
Wrapped up in a movie. The third one is ridiculously bad. It's so bad.
I've
I
never
don't
seen
even
the
know.
third one.
Okay.
Is that the one where they time travel?
Yeah, and you know what sucks about that one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that everyone was so excited for that one because we all thought that it was gonna mirror Turtles in Time, the Super Nintendo game, which is a legendary game. And when they were like, we saw the scepter and that they travel back in time in the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, are you serious? Like, and we already liked one,
Yeah.
we liked two. And 3 is gonna come out and be Turtles in Time, the game, but in a movie. Oh my goodness, how many villains are we gonna see? And then no, it was really bad.
Yeah.
It was not that. They only travel once in time.
Oh.
It's not. Yeah, they go.
What period?
Feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan.
Yeah, they go to feudal Japan, and then like the Dutch are there too. And so the turtles do their thing and they fight and they help a village of people and stuff like that.
See, that's already a hard sell because for minorities, you can't travel back in time. Now we're talking about turtles, these big ass walking turtles going back in time.
I think back then no one cared as much.
They were cool with it.
I mean, nobody. I mean, those questions weren't being asked.
Well, they would probably think it's like they're like demons or something, right?
They address. They call them, I think, demons once.
Oh, really?
In the movie. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think they address that. Like, what the heck
Yeah.
are you? You know. I mean, yeah, they address that because that would be like, hey, well, what's up? It's Donnie, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's ridiculous. That happens in some games that I've played. Kingdom Hearts. Have you seen any of that? Played any of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
The first one at least.
Okay, so you travel around with Donald and Goofy, right?
Of course.
The big Disney characters.
Yes.
And they just kind of go to different worlds from the Disney catalog, you know, and that's cool. And some worlds
awesome.
are a lot of fun where they integrate each other. So, like, for example, there's a Halloween town. So their appearance will change to look like they belong in that world. Like, Donald turns into kind of mummy kind of deal. Goofy's like kind of a zombie or whatever. But there are some worlds, especially in later games, where it's a harder sell to buy that everyone's just cool with this duck.
With what's going
and
on.
This, like, it's a walking, talking duck. Like they tried to do Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the first movie.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. So it's like the setting of the first movie.
Yeah.
But then there's this duck.
There's Donald and Goofy just walking around with the main character. You interact with Jack Sparrow and what's it called? Orlando Bloom and everything.
I just don't think there's another way to play it. Like if you're going from dimension to dimension.
Yeah.
And Donald's already on the quest with you. There's no real other way to play it. You have to. You gotta. I mean, if I was writing the game with you, I'd be like, dude, like, what are we gonna do? Like, make Donald human? That would be even weirder.
No,
that would be so weird to look at. Like, no, dude. No, it's better for kids to be like, oh, Donald's in this world, like as Donald. Screw it, whatever. And sure, the adults are gonna be like, what? But like, kids will be like, okay, yay, Donald's talking to Sparrow,
As a kid, you get past it.
Yeah, right.
But as a young adult like myself, I think it would be fucking hilarious to see.
It's not for you, man.
No, it's for me. These are for me, man. I'm the one paying for all this shit, okay? It's mine. I'm at that prequel stage. You know what I mean? Like when you went to see the prequels and you got pissed.
Oh, yeah.
But then these new kids were like, it's for me.
Yeah.
And you're pissed when they say that.
Right.
That's how I am with Kingdom Hearts at this point.
I see,
but like, I just want
I see.
character acknowledgement. Like someone, like Jack Sparrow sees a walking, talking duck
and makes a joke or something,
or is this like, what the hell is happening to my life?
What's happening in this world now?
Yeah,
like now there's
talking ducks. Yeah. You know the character Pete. From the Disney like the big guy, the big dumb guy and everything.
Infamous bad guy. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go, Pete.
Pete was
Pete fans out there.
He teams up with Barbosa in that world.
Does he really? Of course he does. Dude, of course he does. He's always trying to mess stuff up.
And like they just look the same. It's like these cartoon characters mixed in.
I'm down with that though. I'm down with that. I wouldn't want it any other way, I think.
Yeah.
And
it's like Space Jam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm down, and I grew up with the first Space Jam, so I thought that was sick. That was dope,
it's cool because they just kind of play it straight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean in this game, and even Space Jam.
If you had to make an Avengers of Disney comprised of Disney
in
characters,
Kingdom Hearts,
no, just of Disney characters.
Okay.
Disney
okay,
characters. Who would you choose on your team?
That's difficult. There's all sorts of fan art of that question.
Oh,
like people have like drawn certain characters as the Avengers. Like,
but I'm not even saying as like in the place of Iron Man. I'm saying like as their own character. Like if you had you were let's say some sort of mystic in the Disney world, right?
Yeah.
In this multiverse of Kingdom, not Kingdom Hearts, but of the multiverse of Disney.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you're like, oh shoot, we have to go to war against the real Avengers.
Warner Brothers.
Against
the Looney Tunes.
Against Looney Tunes. Yeah, they're forming a team.
Yeah.
Duck Dodgers and they're all
Duck Dodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, that takes me back. The Hanna-Barbera universe. The Johnny Quest and all them.
Oh, that's another whole world.
Yeah.
But yeah,
who's the Avengers for Disney, right?
Who's the team that you would gather and you would have to go and gather and say, hey, dude, we have to.
Is it just one per movie? How which ages are we talking about? And how many people in the
ages,
team?
No Pixar.
No Pixar. Okay,
No Pixar.
that's fair.
Pixar would be their own team,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
So let's say any era Disney.
What we're literally talking about, by the way, is Secret Wars. They're gonna do this shit.
They are gonna do this. Eventually they will.
Yeah.
Eventually they will.
Literally, they
and
will.
You know why? Eventually they will. Because eventually they're gonna make a Kingdom Hearts movie.
Yeah.
And then
well, they're doing a series actually.
Oh, are they? Really?
I think they're doing a series on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay, so your question is.
Who are the Avengers?
Who are the Avengers for Disney, right?
Yes.
How many people are on the team?
Let's say 7.
7?
Yeah, let's say 7.
Okay.
9 is too much, 5 is too little.
Okay, so you got to look at this the right way, right? You have to look at it like who's in what role. Like you need a leader, the strategist, right? So
this is the way you're looking at it, okay?
This is how I have to look at it. Yeah, I have to look at it this way.
Okay, so Julius is being methodical with it. I'm just gonna throw this in before you continue.
Oh shit!
Because that's very logical,
right? You just want to see them together.
One,
right?
That's one. But the main point that I would just think power. Like who's the
right.
I wouldn't even think roles, you know, like who's the most powerful, you get a spot on the team. You're getting cut if you're not as powerful as the next guy. You know, that would be like my way of choosing the team as a coach. You know, but you're right. As a coach, you would need the roles. We'll see which team.
We'll see which one wins this fight. So are you counting also like the
villains? No.
Well, not the villains.
Yeah,
the like movies like Frozen or Tangled.
Yes, any era Disney.
Okay.
Any era Disney.
So for a leader, I would probably go with. I would probably go with Simba actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would probably go with Simba because he's the king.
Leader.
Yeah, because he's the king, and by the end of the first film, he leads his team to liberate Pride Rock.
Okay, and this is great. I'm not saying this person's on my team.
Okay,
but just throwing a bone. And
okay,
I'll expect the same.
Yeah.
Mulan.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
I mean,
that's a really good one.
And
actually.
I mean, she has the highest kill count of.
Yeah, she does.
Or one of the highest kill counts than any Disney character ever, really. Yeah, and in One Below. That scene is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Where she causes the avalanche.
Yeah. I thought the movie's okay. Like when I saw it growing up, I think I was a little bit older, so I thought the movie was good. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
But that scene, I love.
Ridiculous.
That scene is insane.
Yeah.
That sequence, that whole sequence, like when they get into the past and that. Till the very end and till even when they find out Mulan is Mulan or whatever, but that whole sequence right there, boy, that is Oscar
worthy.
That's Oscar worthy, and it just made the whole movie for me. So the whole movie, I was like, oh, this is okay. This is not bad. I like it. I like this. I'm having a good time. I like the songs, the characters and stuff, and then that scene happened, and I was like, all right, this was all worth it. Yeah. This was so sick.
Mulan's story is actually very similar to Captain America's.
Oh, yeah.
Where the training and then the team
not
later.
Not fitting in,
having
right?
To earn
your spot.
Yeah.
With super serum.
Yeah, you're right. Well, she's got a the spirit.
Mushu,
Mushu, that's his name.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So that
comes
very
similar arc though.
Yeah. That's why it's a good choice. Yeah.
It is a good choice.
So you said Mulan, I said Simba.
Yeah.
That's good. So then you have I'm literally thinking of the Avengers, like their roles. So like you have Cap, who's like the strategist, right?
Yeah, right.
And Iron Man is kind of the smart, the brains,
guy,
right?
Yeah, the brains.
So for that, someone who's like really smart. That's difficult. I'm really trying to think of who. Okay, so I would go with the kid from Big Hero 6.
Whoa, good choice.
Yeah. What was his name? Hero? Is that his name?
I think this is his name.
Hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hero from Big Hero 6. I'd probably go with.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. Yeah, I'm trying to see who's smarter than that. No, I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah, continue. Who is
well,
so you're at 2, right?
Right. So then you have to have then I'd definitely get Hercules for that Thor role.
Dude,
Yeah.
Hercules is a must.
Yeah.
I was like, when is he gonna pick Hercules? Because like, of course,
Yeah.
Hercules. You know,
Hercules
What do you got?
is that must. You need that god punch. I would also want the Beast
Beast also?
from Beauty and the Beast.
Really?
Kind of like a little animal thing going on. Yeah.
Really?
Because he's kind of like that Hulk role, isn't he? You know?
Is he?
I mean, he's not as strong as the Hulk, but he is like, you need kind of that loose cannon who's gonna go that
like
next step.
Wolverine kind
Kind of like Wolverine a little bit.
The only thing is he almost gets bested by Gaston. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, who is this team fighting?
It doesn't matter. We don't know. It could be another dimension, so it could be the Avengers, or it could be,
Okay.
or it could be.
Well, if they're fighting the Avengers, they're all going
all
down.
doomed.
They're all going down.
I don't know. Not with my team.
Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
kidding. I'm just-
I've heard.
I see you lack
I've
confidence
heard,
in your team.
I've heard Mulan.
Wait, who's your guys again? So you guys.
I said Simba.
So you.
I said Simba. Hero.
Heroes.
And Hero comes with Baymax. So
Okay, so I'm gonna put /Baymax.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah.
That's true. Because I have one that I think I only was thinking one being, but yeah, I think what comes is the whole. Well, no, actually, no, not anymore. We'll
Yeah,
go. We'll
Hero
get into
comes
mine.
with Baymax.
but he does come with Baymax.
Just the way that Mulan comes with Mushu. And I said who else? I said Hercules.
Hercules, yeah.
And then I said
2,
Beast.
3, 4. Yeah, you're at 4.
So out of 7.
Yeah, out of 7. So you got 3 more.
Damn. So who else is in the Avengers? We got also.
We got Hulk. Oh,
well, I kind
you
of
got Beast,
used
right?
Beast as that.
We got Thor.
I would
you
actually-
got
I would-
Black Widow.
Okay, well, I would bring in Elsa as well.
Of course.
From Frozen. You have
How
to.
do you not?
Yeah.
How do you not?
She's a legitimate threat.
Elsa's on my team too, but you know why though?
Why?
Because of power.
Yeah.
Like she's one of the most, if not the most powerful being in Disney. She like creates life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she just creates like beings.
Yeah.
And then they fight for her.
Yeah.
And it can be small. It can be millions of small ones. It can be one big one,
Mm-hmm.
millions of big ones. She controls the freaking weather, the temperature. Like,
Yeah. She's like the Captain Marvel of that crew, you know, in terms of being
yeah.
like the most
oh,
powerful.
she's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous.
I would go with
Yeah.
Stitch as well.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good choice.
Yeah, Stitch is
a literal weapon.
a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a literal
I
weapon.
love that film
Yeah,
also.
Yeah, Stitch is good.
Stitch is the homie. He can dual wield some guns,
Yeah,
you know?
he's cool.
He's got the 4 arms, super strength and everything,
He's
highly
good, he's
intelligent.
good.
How many is that? That's 5. Is it?
Yeah.
No, wait, I think that's 6 actually.
You're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you have
Yeah?
one more spot. One more
Oh
spot.
man. Damn, out of all the Disney characters.
Yeah, and it's hard thinking of all the Disney characters. Right?
Yeah.
I bet you watch. You're gonna leave, and you're gonna be like, "Dang, I should have said this." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm literally going to be like that because there's so many
there's so many characters,
films.
and so many movies.
Yeah.
so many. It's like, I mean, you can even go back to Condor Man.
Yeah.
Or Pete's Dragon. Even,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
that's
I mean?
true. I mean, there's an
So-
obvious choice for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be a bit overpowered. And I don't know about the ethical aspect of bringing in this character, actually. Because I'm thinking of the genie from Aladdin.
He'd be my first pick.
I know, but
I was like, how is that not your first pick?
Because the thing is, you're drafting someone who just escaped slavery. So it's just like, oh, shit.
Oh,
this is
come
kind of...
on. now
Chains.
he's fighting for his survival.
No,
They
it's
all
just,
are.
he's fighting
This
for a
is
different master.
This is a multi-dimensional war, and he has to go to bat for his dimension,
You know,
or else there is no genie.
you know what's funny about that is that in the game Kingdom Hearts, you get summons,
Yeah.
characters that will help you out in a battle and
Yeah,
everything, and
yeah.
you get to summon the genie
Oh, of
at one
course.
point.
Of course.
But it's still a bit iffy for me.
So do you pick the genie or not, or does your moral code prevent you from picking the genie?
I
and
actually-
will you lose to my team?
I kind of forget, I kind of forget to do the summons sometimes.
Really?
I kind of forget
just
to.
because you're like I love you, Genie. I love you, Genie, in the game.
Well, they give so many, actually. They give so many options for summons. Like there's it's very the summons you get are very of the time that the game came out. Like they're trying to respond to like some of the movies. So like Chicken Little was one of the summons. Stitch was one because this was an early 2000s game. Genie, because Genie's just overpowered. But I do a lot more of the power-ups, the temporary power-ups instead of the summons. I've kind of been forgetting, but Peter Pan is another one.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah. You know what? I might, even though Genie is the probably the smartest choice, to vary it up, to close it out, I'd probably go actually with, I probably would go with Aladdin.
Oh, Aladdin is sick.
Yeah, because he's a smart guy and everything.
Yeah.
He's got those street smarts and everything. He'll get you out of a tight situation.
And I feel like with all the resources, he could probably be a better leader.
Yeah, maybe. Than Simba. But
Simba's emotional. That's why when you picked Simba, I was like, what? Like,
yeah, but Aladdin's also emotional.
He's emotional, and he struggled with Scar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but who won? Him or Scar?
He did.
Oh, all right, there you go then.
Yeah.
He's the king.
I feel like Shere Khan could take them both.
Take him, Simba and Scar?
Probably at the same time.
Are tigers bigger than lions usually?
Nah, but there's Simba and Scar, and Shere Khan's like...
I don't know, man. I feel like if a tiger can get beat by like a homeless kid, is not happening with the king of the jungle.
It was a whole team. It was a whole team of vultures, vultures that were like the Beatles, like in Jungle Book.
In Jungle Book?
Yeah. They helped him out. Remember? Baloo helped him out.
Baloo was a good one. But what's the name of Bagheera would have been a cool like spiritual center for a team, kind of like the Black Panther of the team. Literally the Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good choice. You can switch it up.
Yeah, but no, I think I'm good with what I got.
You're good, huh?
Let's hear your stuff.
Okay, so I would do Elsa for sure.
Right.
Genie for sure. So those are for sures. Hercules for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a god.
Yeah.
Who else would I pick?
You said Mulan also.
Well, I don't know if I would pick Mulan.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. She did
I was
take
considering
out an entire army.
Yeah.
So like, I'm looking. I get the privilege of looking at your team, but there's no weak guy on your team. Oh, actually,
you'd probably say Beast, huh?
Yeah, I would say Beast and Simba are the only like weak points on your team, because like Beast. If I pick Mulan would handle Beast and Simba.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so. I feel like a
trained fighter.
I think
she could beat Gaston.
Beast isn't a trained fighter, but he learned how to be survive. He survived,
Yeah.
He survived because he had to, and he's ferocious.
But he lost to the wolves, right? So he lost to a pack of wolves, and then he like tied, let's say, because they kind of with the
that fight was interrupted.
Yeah,
that fight
was interrupted. Okay, so
he got messed up, but so did those wolves. I guarantee you.
So let's say with Gaston, right? Let's just say with Gaston, and that's all we need. That's all we need.
Right.
Gaston is a badass. Like he's ripped. He's like a specimen, whatever. And he's a hunter.
The perfect specimen.
Yeah, the specimen. The song and all that. So yeah, he's like a beast, But how much combat experience does he have? Like Mulan is a warrior. A Gaston. And Gaston,
he's just a hunter, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's only a hunter, and even if he does have combat experience, it's probably only hunting, and it's with a gun. And so, Mulan has combat experience, like would handle the beast one-on-one in specified fighting, and Gaston almost handled the beast. And I feel like Mulan would handle Gaston easily. So, like, if she would handle Gaston easily, because she was mastering the trainers at the end. Remember, right? She was like fighting the Mongolians, those fools. But so I feel like if she goes hand to hand with Gaston,
she'll probably wreck Gaston. But she's not fighting Beast under the same circumstances as Beast was fighting Gaston. Because at that point, he was all messed up in the head because he lost Belle at that point.
True.
So he was not mentally there.
Yeah, so he was all emotional.
Mulan
in like the craziest situations handled her stuff, and kept her stuff.
Yeah, but she was about to give up right after that. Right? She was emotional also. She was pretending to be a man at that point.
Yeah, but I mean,
wait, are you talking about Mulan or Ping?
No,
Who are you talking about here?
Mulan here. Come on. But yeah, but I don't know if I would choose Mulan. I just know Beast is that's where I could get the one up, because I would get Genie. Genie would just smash her.
Well, that's why I feel like you gotta because Genie at that point takes everyone.
Yeah, he's
kind of like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, he's on my team though.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And I was even about to debate, like, if there's Hero and Baymax, that Genie comes with Aladdin and the carpet and Apu. But
wait, say that again.
That if Hero comes with Baymax,
right,
that Genie comes with Aladdin, the magic carpet, and Apu.
I don't think it comes with Aladdin.
I know, we're just negotiating here.
I'll take your Aladdin for my...
exactly. No, but I like Hero for my team too. I mean, these are powerful. They're so powerful, you know?
I would have said... Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have said Sora, but I think he's more of a Square Enix character. Sora's the main character of the Kingdom Hearts, and he's an absolute badass and everything.
Yeah, of course.
Are you... I noticed this about my team. Are you going to say it about your team? Are you involving Mickey? Because I feel like Mickey is the one who stomps on everyone.
We can't add Mickey, I think.
He's literally
because we would,
God.
We would just have a spot he would get a spot on both teams. We would just make it 8. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
You would pick him, I would pick him.
It's kind of like the Nick Fury?
No, that's no fun. Yeah, he'd be the Nick Fury.
Right.
Iron. He puts everything together.
Yeah.
You know, nah. You no, but yeah, Genie, Herc. I might choose Hero. Yeah, Hero, Baymax. I mean, our teams are looking the same, because Stitch is also another good choice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a literal weapon from space, and like people fear, like planets fear him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and advanced civilizations fear him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
saw what he did in the opening scene of that film.
Exactly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. Yeah, I like. Oh, man, Mulan, or I'm trying to think.
Who are they fighting?
I don't know each other.
Are they fighting the villains? Like, did the villains team up?
Sure.
Like Jafar and Maleficent?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Those guys.
Yeah, those.
Sure. Yes.
Peter Pan's a good one because Peter Pan will abduct the enemy's children.
I'm of the belief that the Hook is the good guy in the
movie. Captain Hook.
Yeah, he's.
Wait, why would you say that?
Because I feel like Hook was a lost boy that broke free, and then he became old, and now he's trying to free the other lost boys from not growing old. He's like,
that's interesting.
Peter Pan is keeping you trapped, guys.
He was brought by Peter Pan, and then he left. He grew up, and then he came back to help the lost boy,
and free the lost boy.
That's an interesting. That should be a comic or a film or something. Because like there's so many revisions of Peter Pan out there. You know, like
it's great.
Hopefully
that's
have
a cool Rufio. Idea. Let's go.
Yeah, Rufio. Oh my God, I remember Rufio. Played by what's that actor's name?
Dante Bosco.
Dante Bosco, dude.
Go.
This morning before work, I restarted for like the 15th time watching Avatar: The Last Airbender with Dante Bosco as Zuko.
Oh, dude, that's one of the best cartoons of all time.
Yeah, one of the best shows of all time.
But definitely one of the best animations, one of the best animated shows of all time. It's on my top 10 for sure.
Yeah, and it's do you consider it an anime because it's Western produced?
I don't. When I throw it into my ranking of like top 10 animations, like I said, it's on my top 10. I don't think of anime on that list, you know?
Yeah.
I think of like the top 10 anime of all time, and I don't put Avatar on there. I don't know why. Just my brain just did that. I don't know if it's wrong or right, but
yeah, I've always heard different things about it's being anime. It's not anime.
I wouldn't care putting it on either list.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't care, but my mind just puts it on like just all the other stuff, like X-Men, Batman animated.
Yeah.
Avengers, both Avengers cartoons.
Yeah.
Justice League is great.
Justice League Unlimited. Did you mention Batman?
Yeah, of course.
You mentioned Batman.
Batman Beyond is up there too. I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
Especially for like a sequel series like that. You know, I think it's pretty good.
I think it's known more for its just icon status. You know, like the image of Batman Beyond and also Return of the Joker.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I wish that people actually saw those villains. They're pretty cool. You know, the concepts of the villains that they have. Kind of sometimes they contrast some of the villains that Batman has, you know, sometimes but they have like new they're still his own villains, you know, his own rogues gallery, and it's pretty cool. It's interesting.
Like, so Batman Beyond is an honorable mention
for me, but X-Men and Batman animated series, but maybe Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think, is like, if it would have lasted more than 2 seasons, but that one's up there for sure.
Well, a show like that, literally like that, 2 seasons only, animated, great. The Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh, that's an amazing. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. That one's great.
That's on Netflix. So
so when I watched it, I was watching it and like slowly being like, oh my goodness, this is better than you know, the 90s Spider-Man. You know what I mean? And that one's amazing too.
I like that one. It gets a bit goofy for me sometimes. Like, because you know, that was part of that tradition in 90s shows, 90s cartoons specifically, where they would have to, because it was little kids watching at the time, they would have to have like every 5 minutes a reminder of what happened the last 5 minutes, like the characters remembering something and saying, this is when this happened and that, and the Kingpin was, it's like, this just happened.
It drags because of that. It drags because I've gone back and watched it, and it and I know I feel that dragging feeling, at least with Spider-Man. Sometimes with X-Men, because it does that. X-Men does that too. But I really like X-Men. X-Men, just the themes in X-Men, it just overshadows that Spider-Man, you know. But yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man was so good.
It was really classy, you know, because it blended a lot of the Ditko stuff with what was going on with Raimi at the time. It was really good.
That's what I was gonna say. It blended a lot of the old stuff with the modern stuff that was going on at the time. I was like, wow, and it did it so well. You know, I thought, you know, sometimes they do that and it's really easy to miss the mark, you know. But I really liked it. I really liked it. But you know, some of my favorite shows growing up when I was a kid were like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, She-Ra. I love She-Ra. The Turtles was amazing. Exo Squad, Biker Mice from Mars.
I remember you used to mention was it Mighty Max? Is that what it's called?
Mighty Max. You know why Mighty Max was sick? Because did you ever watch that show Sliders?
No.
Oh my goodness, dude! Sliders is such a good show. It's underrated, you know, and but it went on for so many seasons. I feel like at least 5 seasons, more than that. But it's this guy. He finds out a way to travel through another dimension. He's in our dimension.
Oh, okay.
And he figures it out. You know, he's a student to this teacher, and he goes through his dimension, but he can't get back. And they have this controller, and then his teacher goes in. And he's like, oh my God, you did it, you know? And he's like, yeah, but we can't go back. And then his girlfriend goes in. And then like some mailman goes in. And the 4 of them go on this journey trying to get back home. But every time they go back home, they'll get to like a different dimension. And what was cool about that show is that every time it started, they always had one clip of a dimension that we didn't see. But they were like battling with. They
were going to war with the other dimension?
No, so like they'd be in a dimension like, trying to get through the portal.
Yeah.
And they're hanging, and it's a dimension where the earth is just all water. So
okay.
Like, they're hanging and they're like trying to get into the portal, and the portal's going, and they're like, oh my God. And then the episode would start. And then you wouldn't see that or how they got there or anything, but then the episode would start and it'd be like, oh wow, that happened.
Yeah.
And it just kind of layers, you know.
Yeah.
You like know that happened, but you never see an episode on that, you know.
Yeah.
And it starts, and then you get the episode on. They get to a place, and they're like, oh wow, this is great. And then the mailman, he's a black guy, right? And so then they get to this place, and then someone like starts like getting mad at him, and saying like, what the heck? and then they realize like, oh my God, they're in a dimension where Hitler won and the Nazis won.
Earth X.
Yeah, so then they're like,
Here,
they're
sorry,
on the
Daniel.
run.
Is there something you can prop your mic up on? Because I want to catch all that good bass in your voice.
Oh yeah, of course, me too.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Shannara.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Careful now. Here, let me adjust that microphone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Just speak right there.
Cool.
You're good to go. Is that comfortable for you?
Yeah, I just don't like being told what to do. Just kidding.
No notes.
No notes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. There are a lot of great. The pandemic was great for one thing of catching up on all sorts of stuff and shows you wanted to watch and never got the chance to watch, like, or never completed. You know, like the Spider-Man '90s show was that for me because I heard all sorts of stuff about it.
Oh, you had never finished it.
I'd never finished it. It was always in the background.
So you did see. What did you think about that being in the era where you could? There was no copyright. Like you could have the Marvel. No one cared that you were mixing X-Men and Marvel. And
yeah. Well, they had all their rights at that point, right?
They did, right?
Yeah,
no, I think
Marvel
they had already started selling them off. Right?
Well, I think it was when those shows ended. I think
okay,
I
see.
Sold it off
Yeah.
because they did
X-Men
cross it over.
Did. Yeah.
They crossed it over with the X-Men and I think the Iron Man cartoon.
They did with the Iron Man cartoon,
the Fantastic Four book.
That's right. The cartoon
show.
Yeah,
and also there was a Hulk one.
I love the Hulk.
Yeah, the Incredible. You remember the theme for that?
Yeah,
Hulk, Incredible Hulk. Like
I love I love that whole sequence of that beginning sequence to that cartoon is really sick. But I can even take it back further to the other Hulk, the original one. That one's really good too, and that one has a She-Hulk, like a sister show or at least an episode where they run through and She-Hulk does her thing, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've seen some clips, actually, of the
really
old
cool.
She-Hulk.
I have it on VHS.
Oh, do you? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would, man.
Yeah,
you would.
so it's crazy. I used to plop that in and then, it was crazy. I love the Hulk.
They had their own little Marvel universe.
They did. That's what I'm saying.
They tried doing that again with the newer, or I guess now they're not as new, but like the Wolverine and the X-Men, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The idea was that they were gonna be part
mixing.
Mixing, because they brought in Spider-Man in Earth's Mightiest Heroes
and X-Men
at
least Wolverine.
It was the same voice actor,
right? Oh, it was.
Yeah, and it does tie into. I think the idea was it was supposed to be part of the same world as Wolverine and the X-Men, and Wolverine and the X-Men was also tied into that short film they did of Hulk versus Wolverine, which is the more R-rated version.
That was such a good little movie.
Yeah.
That they had. Oh my goodness.
It was
Hulk versus Wolverine and Hulk
Thor.
versus Thor.
Yeah.
And they were both good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked them. Yeah, those were great.
When people say that, DC's the king of animation and Marvel's not, I mean, usually they're correct, but Hulk versus I think is a good candidate of dispelling that rumor, you know what I mean? Because I think like Hulk versus is like, especially the Wolverine one, they get like bloody in that shit.
So I love it.
Yeah,
and it's up there, and you're right. The candidate.
Yeah,
but the candidate.
Well,
I got a list of DC movies that are just on the same caliber or better,
or just better.
Or
just
that's better,
and that's fair.
Yeah,
but there's some good ones. There's the next Avengers. Did you watch that?
I did. I liked that one.
It's very kidddy, but it's
I liked it.
Fun.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It was enjoyable.
It was about the world overrun. By Ultron killed all the Avengers and their children were in hiding.
And they had to find Maestro.
Yeah, they've had to find the Maestro and everything. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if it's the Hulk and he's old and he has that facial hair, he's the Maestro. Yeah, right. Much, but yeah, that was a cool one. There was a nice Thor one. I remember, like a young Thor one.
There was. Yeah, that one was okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, same with the Doctor Strange was okay.
Yeah, a lot of origin ones.
You know what's really good?
What?
So see, I like the series for Marvel. That's where it's like, okay,
that's where it's more potent.
That's where it's more potent, because one, that's underrated and people I'm sure love him already, and we all miss him, but if you go back and watch, Chadwick doesn't do the voice for him, but he, you know, it's his character is
the Black Panther one.
the series
Yeah,
is so
by
good.
BET, right?
Oh my
It was
it was so
it
good.
was great. It was
fantastic.
Jimon Hansu who did the voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
That was cool because what they did was they and it's all on YouTube, I think. And they took the artwork of John Romita Jr. and they animated it.
And they animated it
pretty much,
It was
and it looked
so
cool.
fantastic.
Yeah,
that
was a cool one.
fantastic animated series. Oh man,
it's
underrated.
It's based off an actual book.
Yes, that's right.
Black
That's
Panther
right.
book.
And yeah, it's sad it didn't just continue. I mean, obviously, it was only going to go for that
Yeah,
because of the book.
because
you know?
of the book.
But
Yeah.
man, what a shame they couldn't continue that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's where, like I said, the series where you get Marvel, where I like Marvel. I don't know, better. Yeah, probably better. I think I like Marvel series better because Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I think, is like, I know it was only 2 seasons, but whoa,
Yeah, they were headed places, man, and
oh my goodness,
it was really good.
Wow.
But
and even even Avengers Assemble was good, just as good, not as good, but right there. You know, I thought was right there. Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
But I gotta say, I think I would put Avatar over all of that. The Last Airbender. Over all the Marvel stuff we just mentioned. Maybe not the DC stuff, but the Marvel stuff we mentioned. There are a couple shows it ties with, mainly Spectacular Spider-Man for me. But I would probably say Avatar over a lot of those. You know, when it comes down to the animation, the music, the story, the themes. It was
length,
only
longevity.
three seasons.
Yeah.
And
but it was long seasons.
Yeah, and the great thing by the end of that series, it was canceled at 3 seasons. It was supposed to have a 4th, but it didn't feel like it was canceled by the end of the 3rd one. You know,
true.
like
I agree.
it just
felt like it ended.
It ended.
Good.
You know,
it ended, and it was fine.
I haven't seen Legend of Korra. Have you seen any of that?
I have.
Okay,
I have.
How is that?
It's good. It's good. I think people just don't. It's not Avatar, so you get over it fast. I haven't finished it,
right?
So that's what I mean.
Okay,
I feel like that's what everyone would do, and I hear it gets better later, but I don't know. I haven't finished it, you know.
Yeah.
But I do like her as a character. I like Korra, but I think I'm trying to think about it, and I think you might be right. Because even Batman animated series is very, yes, they do tie in, and there's build up with the characters, you know, and with Batman and stuff. But it's Freak of the Week, you know what I mean? Like it's Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Not that Avatar wasn't, but they blended that with a long arc and like world building that mattered a lot, and it didn't just stick to Gotham, to one city.
Yeah,
it was. So I think it just, and it did it well, you know.
It did it really well.
So,
each, like, let's say Freak of the Week was important
lesson
to his journey, and it was a lesson to Aang's journey,
right?
You know, and it's all culminated in the finale.
So very much like Pokemon, right? But Pokemon, although it lasted longer, that first original season is really what captured Pokemon the most, I think.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but Avatar, I think tops that. And then tops everything else. And I'm trying to think if anything beats it. I liked Exo Squad when I was a kid. That was really dramatic and cool. Transformers was ridiculous for me. The Turtles for me was like, is up there. I think the Turtles is probably the only thing that ties. And that's, I'm saying here, I am biased. Right. I am this is totally like my list. It doesn't have to be your list. But like for me, because I understand the greatness of Avatar, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But for me, like, I love the Turtles. For me, it's just like, you know, that whole movement, you know, Eastman and Laird with the books and toys and the cartoons and the movie. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Well, you definitely love it if there was a series of TMNT that was in the style of Avatar.
I think oh my God, it'd be ridiculous. But I think I only don't like one series of Turtles. They're all good.
Yeah, which one is that?
It's the one where they're all different, like super different, where they all have very similar to like how they are in the movies, you know, like actually not that similar, but they're different. They have like
physically really different.
Physically different, right. That's one where I'm like, nah.
It's one of the more recent ones, right?
Yeah.
I had to stop following just because there's so much stuff of turtles, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even the He-Man stuff, you didn't watch that, right?
I watched a little bit.
Original He-Man either.
No, they tried to do a revamp. I remember in the early 2000s of Masters of the Universe.
Oh my goodness,
like a revamp, and I watched.
That was not good.
I just didn't watch it, you know. I was on the Justice League. I was on the Batman.
You'd have a bad. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you didn't. There's two versions going on right now, Revelation and which Kevin Smith is getting a lot of poop for, you know.
Yeah.
But I like it. Mm-hmm. I like it. But again, I'm biased. So, but not that biased. I mean, He-Man's had bad series, you know, where there's like you're saying, like the early 2000s was a bad series, and then when they try to revamp He-Man, and I wasn't about it, but He-Man was one of my favorite cartoons. Thundercats was awesome. Exo Squad. I'm missing a few for sure.
You mentioned Thundercats.
Did I really?
I think you did, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Biker Mice from Mars was a good one. Street Sharks was fun. Yeah. It wasn't my favorite, but that was fun.
Well, Kevin Smith did the latest Masters of the Universe.
Oh yeah, and it was good.
Is it like kid oriented or
there is a kid one going on in parallel on Netflix.
Right. But is this more adult?
Good. This one's it's more adult. Okay. But I wouldn't say adult. Like a kid can still watch it probably. Like an older kid, you know, can still watch it. But yeah, I like it. I like where they're going with it. I like the blend of the old and the new, and you get a lot of the old characters. That you know we haven't seen in a while. You know, so I used to be all about that too, the toy line and all that stuff. So yeah, you know, I liked that. The Real Ghostbusters was a good cartoon. Carmen Sandiego had a cartoon for a while.
I think I remember that one.
Bruno the Kid was a good one. That one was Bruce Willis was the voice. Of this kid, yeah. It was a spy kid, and it was actually pretty good. The animation was whatever, but it was that was pretty good.
It's kind of Cody Banks a bit.
Yes, it's very Cody Banks.
Recess is great. Recess is really good. That's really funny also.
Yeah, and it has good themes. It touches on good themes.
And they're short.
And they're short. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
you're in, out. I always make jokes with my friend Jacob about that kid, Randall. You know, the kid, the little snake kid. Was that his name, Randall? The kid. Okay, because
it was.
He's always going to Miss Finster and everything, and every school has that kid.
Slouch.
Oh yeah. He has got the slouch. He looks like an amphibian. You know what I mean? Like he looks like a toad. Yeah. Every school has that kid.
Yeah, it's true.
Every school has that kid who's like Miss Finster, dude. Yeah. I was at work today and I saw someone come in. Who I recognized from high school. And that's not uncommon for my place of work, especially where it is. But
you saw high school uniforms, right?
No, not the uniforms. No.
That's why that would have been everybody.
That would have been weird if he was still in the high school uniform.
Oh yeah, that's
after
true,
all these years.
Yeah,
especially
make any sense.
Because this guy was an older grade than me.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to name him because I did remember his name instantly. Okay. But this kid, and you'll probably remember this. Oh, okay. What happened because you were you not at the school at that time. Yeah. And what this kid did. So you know they have the winter formals and everything, the dances, of course. And this kid made a show out of asking people or a girl to the dance, right? Okay. So what he did was, and again, you probably remember this. This kid, he dressed up as kind of a musketeer.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Okay, so he had the kind of like the D'Artagnan look to him. Yeah. He had the feather and everything, and he had the sword, like the play sword and everything. And he went around. He goes up to this girl, the single girl, goes up to her and says, "Hey, do you want to be in the go to winter formal with me?" And he gets on the knee and everything, pulls out a rose and everything, right. And she says no.
Yeah, she said no.
He gives her the rose anyway.
Right.
And says, okay, no problem. Gets up and he moves on.
Yeah.
Goes to another girl.
Yeah. I remember this.
Takes the rose, gives it to her and everything.
Right.
And the little crowd starts forming because
I remember
each girl is saying no.
Yeah.
And he's just going all across campus.
And he's dressed silly.
And he's dressed up, you know? Yeah. I see this guy and I'm automatically
I have
thinking of
perspective
it.
on this story too.
Oh, that's why I want to talk to you about it,
so
because it was so crazy that it happened.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at him and we made some eye contact.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave me the look of like, wait, do you remember this? No,
this is like super bad. Oh yeah, when you peed your pants, dude. I was like in the 2nd grade. Like we never forget.
We never forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit was yellow,
yeah,
bro.
exactly.
You had a dozen on you that day, dude. Yeah, no, I just remember that because the balls you have to have, the chutzpah to go around like, and it's not like these girls aren't gonna find out.
But see, I don't think that's really chutzpah.
Is it just dumb? Like him just trying to be like getting the attention or something?
Okay. So
what's the perspective?
Okay,
on this?
so the only thing that's well, let me tell you the perspective. Let me tell you my perspective of that story.
On that
I
day,
see it, so I see that happening. The crowd forms that you said, and the crowd forms around the bathrooms, around the girls' bathrooms. I remember that. And that's when the last crowd formed, and we put an end to his charade or whatever. But it was you know, there's not a lot of action at the school. It's like, you know, upper middle class.
Sure.
And so the kids are good and stuff like that. There's not, you know, they ditch here and there, and there's, you know, not really that many problems. Anyways, I see this crowd forming, right? And so when I see this crowd forming and people like, you know, cheering and doing all this crazy stuff, I was like, no, like there's a fight.
Yeah.
And, like it's already, the crowd has formed so large. Like, how am I going to get to that kid?
Are you getting excited at the point? The prospect of a fight?
I'm not getting excited. I'm getting worried that a kid, I was like, what is happening? You know? Yeah, one second.
No problem. Yeah, I remember I was part of that crowd. I remember following this guy as he was walking around. I remember him going up to the first girl and the girl's just laughing. Just like, what the hell are you dressed as?
Yeah, because that's what was funny. And I have more on like what we were saying. But so I see this crowd, I jump in, I start moving kids out of the way. Like, you know, oh my God, let me get in. And when I get to I'm like, oh my goodness, about to pull kids off of each other, you know, like this big fight's going on. I thought there was multiple fighters, not just one-on-one, you know, because I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, oh dude, like this is violent.
Yeah.
And then as I'm pulling them off and I get to the center, I see this dude on one knee dressed like a clown. And then
one of the Three Musketeers, he was literally dressed like that.
Yeah, you know, get out of here. And he's doing this thing, and I kind of was like, and I see nothing is happening. And I kind of just was like, all right, cut it out, I guess, cut it out. And then he's like, and I look at her like, cut it out, and she's like, yeah, no. She's like, I'm saying no, you know. And then,
right.
And then I was like, all right, like, yeah, just cut it out, man. This is like forming a crowd, you know. And he's like, all right. He's like, yeah, just do it on your own time or something. Like
that was by the end of the crusade.
Yeah, the crusade, you know. And I had realized I had seen him like once or twice, like passing me by, giving out roses and stuff, and trying his, shooting a shot.
Yeah,
say,
multiple shots.
It was when the crowd formed that it was like, all right, now you're causing a disturbance, dude. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like what you're saying. For me, nothing is different than normal, other than he's just in the costume. To me, nothing was different than what would normally happen. Like if there's a dance, you're going to go around and ask somebody. And if they say no, that doesn't mean you stop asking everybody.
No, of course not.
They say no, and then you go and you ask somebody else. And then they say no, and then you go and ask somebody else. And by the time you ask 5 people, you know, what's the 6th one going to say? Like, you asked 5 people? Like, well, yeah, I mean, what? I mean,
you said no. Yeah.
People, you know, like, what? Like, I mean...
My thing is he's wearing that outfit, giving the rose with the idea of, like, if the first girl said yes, she'd be like, oh, this is an occasion. He thought of me in a special way, right? Like
Right.
that's what the costume implies. Like I'm trying to show you the effort that I'm putting in.
We're assuming.
Or we're assuming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's, I mean, why else wear a costume? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
For
Like
the
if
gag. For the gag.
I know, but if she said yes,
Yeah.
if she said yes,
Okay,
she'd be operating on the level of
Okay.
like, he went out of his way for me, right?
Okay.
That's what, if she said yes. She didn't say yes, but if she did.
If she didn't see the pile of roses in his arm.
Well, he leads with that, and then he
Yeah.
comes up with the rest. It's like, oh, you
Yeah.
said yes, here's the rest,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
probably
right.
what he would do.
Yeah, probably,
You know, so
probably.
that's what I'm saying is like the same day, same time span.
Mm-hmm.
Within like the same 5 minutes, he just goes and tries to pull the same shit on, like he's like a used car salesman. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
trying to pull the same shit.
I mean, it's cheap.
a little bit.
it's
It
cheap.
becomes cheap.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
becomes cheap.
It didn't have to be at first.
No, right.
If he was doing this shit with a girl he had rapport with, instead of just random girls.
That's
throughout.
why I think it was more of a gag than
Right.
like a genuine asking out. But I mean, it's a thin line, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean those signs.
The signs?
The signs that people use
like
to
make?
like ask people out.
Oh, yeah.
Those are come on, that's silly. and then when you're standing there at lunch and you see 4 signs going up in like 4 different crowds and you're like, oh, what's the crowd forming? Oh, a sign.
You get
like-
tired of that, huh?
Well, not tired, but I'm like, what is they made a sign and the signs aren't even
yeah.
intricate. They're just like, oh, will you go with me? Like,
Yeah.
why don't you just ask? Like,
Yeah.
what's the sign? I mean,
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
just saying a word.
yeah, it's just saying like, I don't know, like if there was crazy artwork, like it was like, you know, and then you're like, look at this, I did this for you, and you know, to put up on your wall or something, and then you know, or to throw away or do whatever, you know, like I don't care, but like I made this for you, and it's this beautiful art piece.
Yeah.
Will you go to the whatever? But like just like you watercolor, like will you go to the dance with me? Like I don't know, like with highlighter, you know, like. Why didn't you just ask, you know? Like,
Yeah, I get that. I had this one time where, and I think I was telling you about it because you and I would hang out a lot, or I would hang out where you were hanging out by the end of the day.
Right.
And we'd talk about whatever. And there's this girl who would come through sometimes and who I was interested in. And I wanted to ask her out, not in terms of the theatricality of this guy as the musketeer, you know, but I brought, a dozen, I think, that day.
There you go.
A dozen roses.
There you go.
Just simple.
Right.
And I was looking for her, and I was hanging out where you're hanging out. And I'm waiting. I was like, hey, man, hey, Daniel, have you seen this chick? Like at Albany? And you're like, no, I haven't seen it. And she didn't show up. Yeah. And then I found out later on that it was, because this was a Monday that I was trying to do this.
Okay.
Over the weekend,
Yeah.
she was asked just casually by a guy. Just they were hanging out playing a video game or something, and
she said
he
yes.
just said, "Hey, do you want to go to the dance?"
And she said
and
yes.
she said, "Yeah, sure, as friends, fine."
man.
And I just felt so like like I never wanted to burn something at a school before, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But see that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point. That story that you just said is exactly why you shouldn't take that so seriously, you know?
Right, yeah.
That's why this dude was doing that. He was not taking it seriously. And you know, I don't know. I that's not the route I would take or even recommend. But I do, if I had that choice over what the nothing that a lot of high school kids do because they're just scared to even ask anything, I would prefer the musketeer guy going up and being like, okay, at least go up and ask.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah, you're doing it silly and you're probably going to get a bunch of no's.
Yeah.
But it's good to get a bunch of no's, you know? You
Yeah.
know what that feels like. It's not, at least you were out there. It's not better than wondering if you ever even would have got a no, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's like, it's better to go out there and get the no and then be like, oh yeah, you know, like, 'cause especially in high school, like asking someone to the dance, like, are you going to marry this person? Like,
No.
you know, in middle school too, like when you're asking someone to a dance, like, are you going to marry them? Like, no. So you already know that.
Yeah.
Even if it goes well,
Yeah.
you already should know. Like, I'm probably most likely gonna have a great time, and then this is gonna end eventually because we're in high school. Like,
Yeah.
obviously this is gonna end. But like, I don't know why that, you know, that to take that step back and see that perspective is like hard for some, you know.
For teenagers.
Yeah, right.
It's probably
right. I think
because
so.
that's why because they're teenagers, you know.
And maybe that dude gave some other dude that was doing that and not asking, he gave him some courage, you know.
That's true. I mean, this guy came in with a girl today.
Oh, okay.
So, you know.
Yeah, there you go. So it worked out.
It worked out.
You know. That's what I'm saying. And so that lesson with you, not, you know, the other person asking it, you know, then you learn to jump on the ball fast. I don't know if that would have been even the answer, because maybe you would have decided that weekend or something. I don't know the context of when you were, but I'm just saying in future, you're like, well, now I'm not going to even wait, because casually they can be asked.
Right, know? Yeah, you could just say, hey,
they can.
What's up?
No, well, yeah, but they can also be asked by anybody else. Like,
that's true.
Other humans exist, and like, I'm not going to, if I want to take that shot, let me take that shot and have them say no before I say no to myself.
That's how I felt with doing this podcast that I've been doing, where there's such a large amount of time where I wasn't doing podcasts and talking. And I said, I'm wasting time not doing this. I like doing it. Why am I not doing it? And then people started to ask if I wanted to, you know, do podcasts, or saying, hey, we should do this. We have a good time talking. And like when someone comes up saying, I want to do the thing that makes you happy, why would you not jump at the chance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course,
Like you would do a lot of podcasts, you know, with the show no one asked for, even with us at the GOAT and everything.
Right.
What and you haven't been doing as much lately. Is that because of you're busy and everything?
Yeah, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm now working way earlier, so I have to get up at like 5:30.
Yeah.
And that's if I don't want to work out in the morning. If I want to work out, I have to get up even earlier. So I go to sleep earlier, and like now my sleep schedule's off, you know. But these are all excuses. I mean, if I really wanted to do it, then I would really be doing it, just like how you're doing it right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
how we're doing it right
exactly.
now.
So nothing is stopping you, you know what I mean? Like, so because you want to and you're doing it. So it's not that it's not a priority, you know, but it's something I want to do, like you said, and you should be doing that thing that you want to do. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's, you know, gas prices out here and inflation,
fires and shit,
inflation, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, that and the gas prices are really doing it. You know? But, you know,
and you also have, you know, kids and everything.
Well, yeah, that's an expense.
Yeah,
those are expenses. So yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, rent, all that, bills, phone, you know, electric bill. Like, I mean, it starts stacking up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you got to go to work for those things, and then I find, like, even when I do have like an hour of time, like, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm so tired, and so then I'm like, I'll pass out, or I let myself pass out, you know, instead of pushing to like get something done with the YouTube or something like that. But yeah, that's why I've kind of like slowed down on it, you know.
That's I might get to that point at some point as I get older, you know. I've thought about that at points,
right.
You know, because consistency is the key for a lot of things you want to accomplish, but
for everything. I
mean, for everything pretty much, but it's the ultimate fight, isn't it? You know, because we started working out. It's been about like what?
Almost a month.
Almost a month.
We're on the last 3 weeks, so we're on the fourth week.
Okay, we're on the fourth week now. You've been telling people that you want to be a personal trainer.
Right.
You want to get people motivated and in shape. You know, just being active. Yeah. And we're in this tune-up period. That's how you refer to it. You're in the period of becoming consistent and showing up, right?
Of course.
And what we talked about beforehand was getting in that mindset of showing up.
Yeah.
Right. Have you found, have you been working out more because of this training period that we're in?
Yeah. Well, I've been working. That's the thing. I have to prioritize working out, because that's actually part of what I want to do for a job, for like an income. So I have to focus on that. Not that I don't want to do that for YouTube, but that's just further away.
Right.
You know? So yes, I've been working out consistently now, and I'm noticing the changes that I'm expecting to get when I work out.
Yeah.
So I've been showing up for myself, and I'm getting those gains. But the reason I'm doing that is because, you know, if you're gonna be a personal trainer, you can't be like, unhealthy, out of shape.
Right. Yeah.
You got to look the part. You know. You don't have to. I've seen some guys that just know the workouts and whatever, and they're not like super fit. They're fit looking, but not super ridiculously fit. So you don't have to be like a pro athlete or anything. But me personally, I feel comfortable knowing that I'm in prime shape, trying to get somebody to be in their prime shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, it's a vote of confidence,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing we've talked about during the trainings is getting to that point of, I can apply this mental state to everything else.
Yeah, right.
Of
course. Yeah, and that's a big part of
you know,
my
you
training.
can work out, you can go to school, you can go to work, you can do a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a day.
Right.
Have you been feeling that kind of energy?
I have, yeah. So I started a Instagram and a TikTok. So
the movie fool.
Yeah, the movie fool. Yeah. So because I've gotten this new energy that's kind of trickling into other things. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, and even with my job, I'm finding more energy in my job and stuff like that. So in my jobs, so but yeah, that comes from showing up for yourself, and you gain small victories, and then you start, you know, other victories are not so overwhelming. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
They don't look like huge mountains, or even if they do look like huge mountains, you feel capable of climbing a few yards at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually you get to your goal. But like you said, like you got to master the art of showing up for yourself first. And then when you do that, then you can start, you know, getting into the nitty gritty and getting into the hard stuff and really, really propel forward on that.
Yeah.
You know? But if you haven't shown up for yourself, you can't just jump into like a crazy workout. You're gonna quit in a week or two, you know, at most, you know.
Have you experienced it? Like it's a balancing act, right? The showing up part.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you, especially for me, because you know, I've been an athlete and stuff, and you know, martial arts, soccer, all that stuff. So I know where my body's been. So when my body's not at that level, it's frustrating, you know? So I want to jump back into that level. It's really hard being patient and like building back up to where I was, you know? That's a hard part for me. At least if you're asking me what's the hardest part of that, that's probably the hardest part of what's been my journey, is like not like being patient with myself, like how I've been patient with you, you know?
Yeah.
And even before, when I was younger and I would train people here and there.
Yeah.
I was impatient. And that's why I caught myself doing that with you, because
did you?
Well, because there's a few sessions where you did better than I
expected. Previous ones.
Yeah, previous ones, and better than I expected as well.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, yeah. So the next one, like maybe we can push, and I did kind of push, but not as hard as I would have when I was
not as hard as you wanted.
Yeah. Well, not like the urge, you know.
I see. Yeah.
I had to be patient and be like, no. And I think I even told you, I was like, no, we're just gonna do the same. I wanted to jump right into out of the tune-up stage. And good thing I didn't, because then I realized in the third week that like we're still mastering this part. So, but you know, I have that, it's like, let's go. I get impatient, especially with exercise and stuff. I get impatient because I know if you just do it, then you know you can just do it, and you just do it, and then eventually you're doing it, you know. But no, it's better to build a strong foundation. That way your building is very fortified and very secure, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I've definitely been that like tutor stage of like dealing with being impatient, you know, like I was forced at one point to teach someone how to play guitar.
Oh wow.
Like forced in the not physically forced, but like in an awkward way. Like I was sleeping over at someone's house once, and their mom came up and said, "Hey, so you're going to teach him about guitar, right? Because we have a guitar here." And I was just like, "Oh, all right." And he's like, playing that instrument, you have to arch your fingers a certain way, and it's difficult for a lot of people, understandably, you know. So his fingers were a bit chunky, so he couldn't make the chords and everything, and it's just like, like I'm feeling how you're feeling, except
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit more external.
Right.
And like I'm showing my frustration more,
I
like
see.
like just
Oh, and that's not good.
yeah.
You can't do
No,
that
no.
because then your student feels that, or your trainee, they feel that right away. They feel that,
Yeah.
So you can't. And I'm not now. I'm not impatient. I just feel that urge of like trying to speed up.
Yeah.
Because I know the workouts that are coming, And I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
I know. Yeah. So I'm like, no, but we're not there. We're not there. Like, we're not there. It is, Julius isn't there yet. Dude, I'm not there yet on some of the ones, but I want to get there. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have to get to my prime physical shape, and then that's where I can start telling people to get to their prime physical shape.
Yeah. And
So,
it's constant motion, right?
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. There's no end.
Get to it.
Yeah, there's no end to
I
it.
say that.
Yeah.
But that's knowing there's a never-ending journey. I mean, because let's say I get to a maintained weight and body shape that I like. Okay, well, I still have to work out to maintain it.
Yeah.
Once I get there, I can't just be like, okay, I got there, and then just sit and then be like, well, I got there.
Yeah.
And no, it'll go away in like in weeks,
Yeah.
So if not days. So you gotta maintain, So it's a lifestyle. It's like so that's why I tell people, like, that's why I'm saying the art of showing up, because no, it's you don't just switch from one lifestyle to the next without like gradually getting at least acclimated to the air in this new world. You know what I mean? Like on this new planet that you're on.
Yeah.
So you got to learn how to breathe on this planet, and then you can walk around and do whatever you want.
That's something that's just hitting me. The idea of getting to that success point, the point we've talked about, where I want to go, and having to keep it up, that point is kind of just revealing itself to me, like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to keep it. It's a lifestyle, like you said,
it's a lifestyle. Yeah. And it's a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I like working with people for about a month, because I know that it hits them. And so either they quit and they had a good month of working out, or they continue and they're ready to continue. Now they have the ligament strength and the muscle strength to like to do harder workouts on their own, or continue working out with the same regimen, or whatever they want to do, join a gym if they want to, or whatever. But that's why I do it that way. But because then people start thinking about it like, wait a minute, around the second week or the third week, where they start thinking like, wait a minute, like, okay, so I continue this and I get skinny or I get ripped, like, all right. And then wait a minute, like, I'm going to have to keep showing up though. Yeah. I'm going to have to keep doing these, and they're only going to get harder because I'm going to get better at them. I'm going to get better at lifting. So like, oh man, like what the heck? And so then you have to make that choice. Like, am I going to work out every day, or for like almost every day, am I going to start doing that? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And so and some people don't. So I've met people that are like, nah, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't care. I just don't care, Right. Like, okay. That's sick. That's awesome. That's cool. Good for you. More power to you. Yeah. Like, that's cool. Just don't be unhealthy about it, like to the point where
take care of
like,
yourself, right?
Not that I'm the healthiest when I eat, fast food and meat. And I told you too. You asked me. I did. This dude asked me. He asked me. He was like, oh, we're going to train, but like, do you recommend anything on diet? And I just said, so I told you, like, I have no like secret or fat or plan or anything like that's already pre-made or anything like that. I would just suggest vegetarian or vegan, and then like as many alkaline products as you can, as alkaline as you can get. Yeah. Because I feel like, disease lives in the acidic stuff, Yeah. So anything that's like that, or anything that causes mucus, stuff like that, like stay away from those things. Yeah. I don't, so that's why I told you, I was like, that's your thing. Like, that's what I would recommend. And you'd probably live to your like 120, Or that, along with making sure that you have enough iron. Cause sometimes when you're vegetarian and vegan, you may not get iron. There's ways to get iron, so don't.
But it's easy to forget, but it's how to get that stuff.
Yeah, that's what you get from like the protein, the meats and all that stuff. So just make sure you're getting enough iron, alkaline stuff, and vegan or vegetarian, Yeah. Just because not because I don't like meat. I love meat.
Yeah.
I just sat here. Like, I don't do what I just said. Like, I eat meat. I eat fast food meat.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
so you're eating people,
I'm eating like
Soylent Green.
You know what I mean? No, but that's what I'm trying to say is like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm like now thinking about now. Maybe just, oh, no, I can't. I don't know. Because I think about, you're talking about how you think about the end point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think about the end point about being vegan or vegetarian. I think about the end point like, oh shoot, that's a lifestyle. I'd have to forever not eat meat. No, dude, no, you can't. No. All right. Like, and I told you, I tried it. I was a vegetarian for what, like a month or 2 months. And I liked it. I liked it.
When was that?
It was before COVID. It was
probably, right before? Maybe?
Yeah, it was right before. It was probably like the year before COVID.
Okay.
And I tried it in the 2 month period there, and I really liked it. I had a lot of energy, and it was great. It was great.
And there are a lot of vegan like supplements.
Yeah.
Like you want some fake vegan chicken wings or something. You know.
I heard Impossible Burger is like not that good for you because like what they need, the chemicals to make it taste like a
burger.
Yeah, and without it being a burger, you know, is not good for you. But that's what I read somewhere, but it could be wrong, you know. But all I know is like Kevin Hart is opened is like fast food.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Vegetarian.
I forgot what it was called.
Heart something.
Heart something. It has to be Heart something, right? Yeah, like Good Heart or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm down to try that.
I'm down to try it as well.
Yeah.
Like I try my best when it comes to the eating.
Okay.
You know, it's actually not that easy, honestly, because the cheaper stuff is the stuff that's not the best for you in a lot of cases. But like if I'm going out to eat, I'll try to eat something there's something that I can get from it that'll give me the right energy or the right vitamin or whatever, something that's more natural.
Right.
Like I went last night to this really good place, which I would recommend to you. It's a Himalayan place in Pasadena. It's I think it's like the only Himalayan place in South Carolina. What's this place? Where are we? Southern California. It's a really good place. I think it's called Tibet Nepal House. Really good.
Okay. Cool.
Really good. Cool. It's natural. It fills you up.
Nice.
You know, and it makes you go to bed perfect and everything. So that's the type of stuff that I'll try. Okay. You know, I'll try at least to go out of my way for.
I mean, shabu and like the hot pot, like stuff like that. Like, have you ever had a hot pot?
Is that like a ramen?
It can be. It's so if you go to the place, you'll get
shabu
a hot
shabu.
Pot. Well, they have one in Alhambra. That's really bomb. But if you just go to these hot pot places, you get the hot pot on your plate, and someone else has their hot pot. Sometimes they have it in the middle, you know, but some have it like each one has their own, and you put your hot pot there, and then you get like a broth that you choose, and so then you have a broth. And now you go to the buffet and you can pick whatever you want. To like dump into the broth. And then you cook it.
And
right
there. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, I've done that before.
In
it's
the
really
broth
good.
with whatever meat you're picking. Oh my!
You're making me hungry, dude. Oh my god!
And you can get whatever sauce you want. So you're not only mixing it, you're making the broth whatever broth you want, which is like a super broth because they have like whatever choice you want. But then you're getting whatever meat dipped in this thing. Yeah. That's whatever soaking in this. And then you can dip it in whatever sauce you just made. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. That makes me hungry, man.
That, like Korean barbecue. Mm-hmm. So when I think about the lifestyle of like vegan or vegetarian, I'm like, no, I can't not do that.
This shit is too good.
Like Korean barbecue, man.
Yeah.
Like, I really like yukaku, the Japanese barbecue. I know that's like on the more like on the go type and more for like, you know, good for groups, you know, yukaku. But yeah, I don't know, man. I love those meats, man. Those meats are so good, dude.
It's the juice factor, huh?
It's when the meat is juicy like that, it's so good. But, you know, and it's crazy. I do like well done meat too, because I grew up with my dad and he was like psycho about meat.
Oh, really?
And yeah, not until later when I got older and I moved out with my homie James, and he was like, wait, you do well done? Because I ordered a steak, and we were like went to a restaurant, and and he's like a foodie,
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't a foodie. My family wasn't foodies. We had Mexican food and fast food.
Yeah.
And like pizza.
Yeah.
And that's what we grew up on. And so, but then when I moved out, like my homie like starts taking me to restaurants, and I remember there was one spot and we get a steak, and I was like, oh, well done. Because that was just like my default. I thought that's what you're supposed to so like the bacteria is done or whatever, And he's like, dude, you order it well done, like you kill all the flavor. I was like, this tastes great to me.
Yeah.
It did taste great.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, have you ever had medium rare or rare and stuff? I was like, well, I'm not gonna have rare. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. I was like, I'll try medium rare. And so the next time we went out, I tried medium rare, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, wow, good. This is so great. It's just so medium rare is my choice. Yeah. So like I obviously now with my story, but that's my choice now.
Yeah, I can taste it. I can feel the texture in my mouth
because medium rare is like just the right where it's like you still taste the meat and the juice in it, but it's not well done. Which
it's a smoother cut, isn't it? Yeah, really nice. I like it. You put some black pepper on that, maybe some mushrooms or something. Some seasoning.
Whatever you want to do. Oh man. But yeah, the gyukaku, I like going to gyukaku, and it's so funny because my dad and my parents who like well done meat, they just like meat that's cooked, like they like asada and stuff like that, And my dad likes his meat cooked, which that's why I thought gyukaku's the best place, because you can just cook it however hot he wants it, and you can make it like black and like it's crunchy, and I mean you can go pretty well done with gyukaku meat, and it's still pretty good, And so I was like, oh, this is perfect for my dad. We go, and I know he's having a good time. He's eating all of the meat that I'm cooking for him. And, like, I'm cooking all of the meat for me and for my mom.
What kind of meat is it? Is it like a steak or?
Like, you could have, like Toro beef. You could have, like, New York, like, skirt steak. You could have, what else do they have? They have Toro beef. They have spicy pork.
Have you ever had Kobe beef?
Oh, they have Kobe beef there. It's so bomb.
It is really good.
So I cooked all this stuff. They loved it, right? They ate all of it, and they were like full, and they were like, "Oh, okay," and I could tell that they loved it because they ate everything.
Yeah.
And so then we leave, and then I was like, "All right, so what do you guys think?" Because I was trying to take them out of their comfort zone, but it was still food that they liked, And I was like, "So what do you guys think?" And he's like, I don't know. We just still don't like it. And I was like, oh my God. And I had told my girlfriend too. I was like, watch, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it. And she's like, why? Isn't this like the exact stuff that they like? And I was like, yeah, but because this is different and you're cooking your own meat and it's weird. Like it's like, what? You're cooking your own meat?
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Nani?
Yeah, what? Huh? What? We got to talk about this. Like, what?
Take it easy there, champ.
Take it easy. No, seriously. And you know what's funny is I even told my girlfriend too at the time. I was like, watch. At some point, probably early on, he's going to comment about like the price and why we have to cook it on ourselves. I guarantee he's gonna say something about us having to cook it. And we get there and we're like, do whatever, and he's like, wait. So then he realizes there's this like plate in the middle. And then I'm like ordering, and he looks at the menu, and then he's like, wait. So like, how do we do this? And I was like, well, so you see, because he sees the raw meat.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's kind of cooked, but it's not. It's fully raw. Some of it's not fully raw. And I was, well, yeah. So you order. And you put it on and you cook it yourself and then you eat it. He's like, wait, so we cook it ourselves? Yeah. And I was like, yeah. He's like, so this is cheaper then, right? And I was like, I look over at my girlfriend like, she was just like mouth open, like, like you were right. And I was like, yeah, because this is like, they're not going to like that it's just foreign to them.
Right.
You know what
it's unusual.
Like that's what they don't like.
Yeah.
Like they like fish. They like rice. They like seaweed. If I gave them sushi, they'd be like, "What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? I don't know. I don't know." Like if I took them to like floating sushi, you know, like where you take the sushi off, which is like cool. It's great. That's affordable and it's fun.
Yeah.
I would take them. They would eat it all. They would love it, and then they would tell me at the end, like, "I don't know. That's kind of weird."
Yeah.
Like, and shouldn't it be cheaper because we were grabbing our own food?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's crazy when like
so funny.
like there's something you know is really good in terms of food,
I know,
and you take it to someone, and then they're like busy eating like Taco Bell, and it's like that tastes like shit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
What?
What are you?
You're trapped.
Like,
you were
dude,
trapped.
You're no. Well, yeah, you're trapped because you've been conditioned.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I only snapped out of it when I like started having Indian food.
Oh yeah.
And I started having Thai food because my roommate James, my homie and roommate, he started taking me to these restaurants, and I was like, "What is this garlic naan?
Oh, dude.
What
garlic
are you
naan?
doing?" I seriously called my parents
night.
after that. Called my parents.
Yeah.
Was like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, why did you do this to me?" And they're like, "Do what?" And I'm like, "You didn't show me Indian food. Like, Indian food exists out here.
Yeah.
Like, there's Thai places out here. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Like, you never took me to a sushi spot?
Yeah.
Really?
What's up with this Pizza Hut shit?
Yeah,
like honestly, man.
No, I mean, hey, calm yourself.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I meant Domino's. I'm sorry, dude.
Whoa. No, I'm just saying pizza in general. I love it. So,
I know, but when you get Sbarro's, you like Sbarro's?
No.
No. Okay. Well, what about
it's
Mama's
okay.
over here?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Daniel, come on.
It's pretty good.
It's better, man.
It's better than Sbarro's. Yeah.
It's better than Sbarro's,
Yeah,
but it's also
yeah.
better. I'd say it's better than like Domino's or Little Caesars.
Yeah, I like it better than Domino's.
Yeah, I haven't had Pizza Hut in years.
I like pizza.
You're a Pizza Hut guy.
Yeah,
You're in the hut.
well, I remember when Domino's actually advertised that they used to suck. They did. No, they did. It was equivalent to when and this was a shocker for me. Okay, because I'm a McDonald's diehard. Like, I've traveled like to different countries, and every city I go to, I want to go to the McDonald's. Like, I love McDonald's, you know.
And are they all different?
If you go to some, they have the menu that is more like locally based and stuff. So that's pretty cool. You know?
that is cool.
Yeah, and even in the States, like, that happens. You know.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That movie, The Founder, with Michael Keaton. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
it's
you remember
fantastic.
there's that part where they franchise and they have different owners who are like adding
what a jerk.
Fried chicken, like milkshakes without the ice cream,
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah, like they all get creative, quote unquote, about it. You know?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Ray Kroc, what a
dick. No, what a jerk, you know. But yeah, no, I definitely grew up on McDonald's, and I loved it, and I'm glad I got snapped out of the trap, you know, snapped out of the conditioning, because I was like, I love those things. I love McDonald's. I love Panda Express. I love, like, Burger King and Wendy's and Taco Bell. I like those things. In-N-Out. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm an In-N-Out person for sure.
I think that's a primarily West Coast chain, isn't it?
I think so.
In-N-Out?
I think it's more. What is it? White Castle, and there's another one too.
Is Five Guys? Isn't
Five
that
Guys
another one?
But that one's here too.
Oh, it is here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's
Okay.
here. That one's good too.
I think I've had it once, man. I think I've only had it once.
I like burgers. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like American food. I like burgers, and I freaking love American pizza because it's different than Italian pizza.
Yes.
And I love Italian pizza too.
Mm-hmm.
I just love pizza. So my favorite foods, even though I have had all these realizations that Indian food exists and Thai food exists and Ethiopian food exists, and like all this food is fantastic and great. But my favorite foods are pizza, pasta, and pancakes.
Oh, shit, dude.
I'm telling you, those three top any. They're just so good to me.
You like ravioli?
Ravioli's
like
good.
really good ravioli, like stuffed with the right cheese and everything.
If I have to rank foods,
there's types of food also.
So
that's a pasta.
Yeah. So, but if I have to rank foods in general, Italian food is my favorite. It just tops all other food on earth, and only because just the consistency of the plates are just bomb. You know, Asian food's really fucking good though too, like really good too. It's so good.
Who's the Avengers team of this food?
Well, I don't know.
Italian foods. Who? Captain America.
I mean, if I had, exactly. Because Italian is my favorite, just because it has more of my favorite dishes, my personal favorite dishes.
Yeah.
But I think a good competitor is
You said Asian food?
yeah, Asian food, like Chinese, Japanese food, Korean food. Oh man,
Thai food also.
Thai food
Thai
is
food's
so good.
a personal
Indian
favorite,
food.
yeah.
I mean, just they know what they're doing over there too. You know, I think the Italians know what they're doing, but in Asia they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
just know what they're doing over there.
Well,
And
they
like,
also have very different like focuses, right? You know, very different.
but they're all good.
Everything.
But
Yeah,
they're
that's
all
true.
good. They're all
true.
fantastic. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like for me, it's like Italian, and then like a bunch of Asian foods, Mexican foods up there too. you
Yeah.
know? But I grew up with Mexican food, so I love
Yeah.
Mexican food. It's just I grew up with it, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I even count it. But Italian, I mean, but then when you think about the dishes that are so bomb, the reason why the different Italian dishes are so bomb
Yeah.
is because they're really the same, just organized in a different way.
Yeah.
If you think about it, pasta, lasagna.
What kind of sauce do we have
Yeah,
on
yeah.
each one,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like you have the marinara over here.
It's all carbs.
Alfredo.
It's
but it's
all
good.
carbs.
It's worth it
It's
sometimes.
it's worth it all the time. I mean, a calzone, lasagna, pizza, pasta,
Yeah.
spaghetti. Like, I mean, it's just ravioli. Like everything.
You remember?
See, everything I
Yeah,
just said is the
see,
same.
God, shut up, man.
Everything I just said is the
I'm
same.
hungry.
Is the same.
You remember
thing.
in The Office when they were doing that marathon, the run for rabies, because Meredith got
Oh my
raped.
goodness, that's
Meredith
so
was hit.
funny.
Meredith was hit by a
So
car,
funny.
but he
I
made
remember
a rabies
The
run.
marathon episode is so funny.
He
Yeah.
eats the chicken Alfredo or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Parmesan or whatever,
Yeah.
like for energy
Yeah.
before running this marathon, and then
Right.
he just gets sick by the end of it.
yeah, because you can't do that.
Nah, you can't do that, man.
Oh my goodness.
Before we get to the thing that I showed you.
Oh, of course.
You tell this great story. I haven't heard it in years, but you tell this great story
Mm-hmm.
because you grew up learning how to fight and everything,
Oh, yeah.
martial arts and everything. When you were in, I think you were in middle school or high school, and you got into this fight with this guy. It's like it was literally like meet me back 3 p.m. that type of shit. But you like did a kick.
Oh, one kick. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get this on record because it is hysterical.
Oh, it's
I love
funny.
it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So, to give context for the story, let me give you context, I guess, just because I don't know
helps.
if it even matters, but it helps. So, like, this is my close homie. This is like my close friend, and he knows that I'm friends with I have a family friend, and it's this girl, and he likes her. So he asked me to talk to her for him. And I'm
Right.
like, sure, he's my friend. He's like one of my closest friends. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, dude, I'll do that. And I talked to her and I go, hey, my one of my closest friends is really attracted to you. He wants to know if you would call him or whatever. Here's his number. You can call him whenever or whatever. And she didn't call. And
Okay.
she said thank you and was like, oh, thanks, and I was like, yeah, here it is. Cool. And he's really into you. He's really nice, and I talked him up, and she's like, all right, cool. And so like a week goes by, 2 weeks go by. We're still friends, and like 2 weeks go by now. But he was like a close friend in one group of friends that I had.
You were all over the place.
I was
right?
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was just this was one close friend in this particular group that I
was
hung
an-
out
he
with
was an
every
affiliate?
once in a while,
Yeah.
So he was closer to me when I was younger because we lived in Highland Park,
Right.
and so like he was closer there, so. But so, anyways, later we grew apart. Later we grew up. All right, so the story goes, I was supposed to talk to this girl that was a family friend from my friend. It didn't go well because I talked him up, I did the normal friend thing,
Yeah.
And he didn't get a call. And so then he comes like 2 weeks later and he's like, hey, dude, like, did you talk to her for me? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So I was like, I'll do it again, I'm sure. Because he's like, yeah, she didn't call. And I was like, all right, so I'll see what's up. Next time I see her, I'm not going to go out of my way, or whatever. But because I saw her often, not often, but often enough.
Yeah.
So then I see her again, and then I was like, hey, what's up? You're not gonna talk to him, or what's up? Because he's like wondering what's going on. And then she was like, yeah, no, I don't want to talk to him. And she said, I don't want to talk to him. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's cool. Like left it alone. Like thought, okay, that was the shot. That was it. The end. It's
Shot you shot.
Yeah.
On behalf of him.
On behalf of him.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought, like, okay, cool. Like, The end.
Yeah.
Like, all right, like, tough.
Do you think that
like,
was part of why it was shot down? Because he didn't come up to her? Do you think that even played into it?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't think he saw her enough, like, would really get that chance.
Right.
So, like, that. I mean, I don't know. I probably would have waited until I saw her in person, too, also. But,
yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, like, I don't know when he would. So it, you know, is the way to play it. But
sure.
she said no.
Right.
You know? So, like, it's fine, you know? Or at least I thought it was. And so I don't say anything. I'm just like, okay, whatever. But like when I see him, I'll say something. So then, you know, making my rounds, I see him, and then I'm like, oh yeah, so she's not down, you know. And then he's like kind of mad about it, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And he kind of acted weird, and he didn't say anything. It was fine. We still hung out for like a little bit, and then he, you know, we parted ways or whatever. And I was like, whatever. And then, like, we kind of stopped talking for a little bit, and I thought it was weird, but we were busy, and I didn't, you know, like I said, like, he was in one group of friends. So,
yeah.
like, you know, okay, we just missed each other this week or this next week or whatever. Who cares? You know, I'm not thinking anything of it. Then an assembly happens, right? And then we're coming out of the assembly, and this guy's, like 2 years older than me. He's, like, a year or two older than me. Or a year, I think. A year or two older.
Is he bigger than you?
No, he's
smaller than you?
He's shorter than I am.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he was shorter than me at the time. I was still a little short, but no, I was gaining my size by that time a little bit. This is like sophomore year. It's no junior year, I think. This is junior year. So yeah, I was already like close to 5'11". Like,
okay.
Like 5'9", 5'10".
Okay.
And he was probably like 5'6".
Okay.
5'4".
Okay.
And so, yeah. So, and he had his little crew that was like our friends, but like his crew, you know, that he hung out with like all the time, every day, you know. And I would just like say what's up to them or whatever. Anyways, don't talk to him for a while. So I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe they're just busy or doing stuff. Whatever. I'll hang out with my friends, you know. And then, but I see him at the assembly. Or I don't even see him. We get out of the assembly. You know how the rush comes out of the assembly?
Yeah, everyone's
like
just wants to get
crowd,
out.
Right. So this huge crowd forming. Oh, and I had a homie that called me Joey, and he was like 4 years older. He was like a senior, you know?
Is it like a nickname?
He was no, this dude was also 1 year older than me.
Okay.
But he was huge. And he called me his little brother. He called me Joey, even though that was not my name.
Yeah.
But he was like, you look like my little brother Joey. I'm going to call you Joey.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. But this is why this matters. Because he was like, he was there. And he always kind of like he treated me like his little brother, you know?
Yeah.
And
make way for Joey.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever, cool. If he was around, he like make way for Joey. And I was like, whatever, sure, I'll take that. You know, sure, I'm Joey. You know, big guy. I'm not gonna tell him, hey, buddy. Like,
my name's not Joey.
I'm not Joey, listen. So I was like, whatever. And but I start hearing like cussing. You know, like, oh hey, B, like, you know what I mean? Hey, B, you know, like, oh, like, get over here, this and that. You're a pussy and all this stuff, you know, like calling me all the names in the book. And I started like turning around like, wait, who the hell? What the hell? Because I thought someone was just yelling into the crowd that's like kind of pouring out into the school. And I like turn around and I see him like at the steps, like kind of coming down in my direction. And he's probably like 15 yards away. And he's yelling at me like, yeah, you know, like, you, buddy. Like, you fucking suck. Like, is it? And I'm confused because I haven't even been told that he's that mad.
Yeah.
So I'm confused.
Well, you haven't really talked to him
Yeah, I
much.
haven't even really talked to him. So that's how fast this escalated,
Yeah.
you know? And so, yeah, just, F you, this, that, you know? I'm like, what? And I turn around, and it's this dude. I'm like, dude, what? And I'm confused. Like, I haven't even talked to you like 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like, what is happening? Like, you're my friend. What? And then like, you know, I'm enraged at that point.
Sure, yeah.
So I start like getting people out of my way, pushing their face, like getting out of like
you're climbing up the steps to him.
over people. Literally like on their back, like getting over. They're not even having a chance to move, so I'm like start climbing on people, like get out of my way, you know. And I am trying to reach him because I'm like, oh, he wants this, so let's get it, you know.
Let's do this.
And then and he starts moving away.
Oh, he's running?
Going away.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, well, what the? And then I see the big brother dude, and he's like, Joey? And I was like, yeah, because I started yelling to him. I was like, get back here. And he's like, Joey? And I look up, and I was like, yeah. And then he's like, dude, why are you so mad? And I was like, I want to fight that guy. And then he's like,
it's like Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
You're like, I want you.
I did the point and everything. I want to fight that guy. And he's like, oh, you want to fight that guy? He's like, hey, he wants to fight you. And he's like, all right, 3 o'clock behind the women's club or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Which is across the street from the high school. And there's an alley back there, you know?
Yeah.
And so then, and I ended up talking to him before that. Mm-hmm. So, and it did get heated, you know, and we agreed to still meet up, but I ended up running into him and like a bunch of the other homies of his crew, you know, like the crew that were my homies too, you know, but they were more his homies, you know, because he hung out with them all the time. But I was really close with him. And so anyways, I run into him and I'm like, dude, like what's happening? Like I'm meeting you at 3? Like what's happening, dude? And he's like, yeah, well, what the heck? Like you didn't talk to Paola for me, to the girl, you know? And I was like, yeah, I did. She just said no, dude. It doesn't matter all the talk. I could propose to her. She's saying no. The answer is no. Like, what does that have to do with me, dude? And he like wasn't having it. He was mad. He like, that made him more mad. He like was like, started yelling at me. And I was like, all right, then fine then, dude. I was like, but it's me and you. I was like, I'm showing up by myself. I was like, it's me and you, and we'll show up in the back alley, and it's just us, and we'll solve it, you know? And I hope it doesn't get to where we have to fight, but we'll solve it behind the women's club. Okay, well, fine. He was like, all right, fine.
You shook on it?
No, we didn't. We was just like, we'll see each other. Okay. It was understood. We're gonna get there. Yeah. And so then I'm like hanging out with my homie, you know, chilling, and he's driving. He has a car, you know, and it's one of those like old big boats, like Cadillacs, you know, big old school car, you know, low rider, big nice car.
Justin calls it I think he calls those a bucket.
Yeah, they're boats. They're like huge steel boats, you know. Yeah. I mean, I dare you to crash into one of those with like a new car. They'll just,
hell no,
you'll turn into a soda can. You know what I mean?
No, you'll die.
Yeah, you'll die. Those things are like Detroit steel. You know what I mean? Like, like the peak of its like existence. But anyways, he was driving one of those cars, and I had forgot. You know, I had soccer. No, I think I didn't go to soccer that day. So I went to hang out with my homie. And he's driving around in his nice car, and we're just driving around town, you know, cruising, doing different stuff, running errands, whatever. And then it's almost 3, and it slipped my mind, you know? And I was like, oh, shoot, dude. I was like, I have to fight at 3. And he was like, what? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, dude, I'm fighting at 3. And I told him who it was, and I told him what happened. He's like, what? And I was like, I know, it's crazy. I was like, I hope we don't fight, because I don't want to fight him. You know, like, what the heck? Like I just don't want to fight. Like, of course, what I mean? Like, I didn't want to fight. It's period. Stupid. It's dumb in general. Like, I didn't want to fight in general. On top of, I didn't want to fight my friend, dude. Yeah. You know, like, what? And so I'm telling him, like, I'm in this dilemma, but I can't not show up now. Like, we already, you know, it's one of those things. Like, you said you're gonna show up, and this dude made this thing. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna show up, and I hope he doesn't show up, you know? Yeah. Because then it'll be like, well, you didn't show up. That's it. And we clear it up, and we move on, you know? And it's okay. We don't have to fight. You didn't show up. Okay. You submitted without showing up. Anyways, he pulls on the opposite side of the block, because the women's club is on one end of the block. Yeah. And so the alley that we were supposed to meet on behind the women's club, my homie, he pulls up, my homie Morgan, he pulls up, and he just parks on the driveway on the opposite side, all the way on the other block, right? On the other side of the block, but you can see the end of the women's club. Like, he's going to
You can see through the alley?
Yeah, he could see through that. So he could see me. It's I would say it's probably like 40 yards. Okay. From where my homie was parked. And then I had to run to the other side of that to be behind the women's club. So I even told him, I was like, yo, Morgan, like, just chill, leave the car on. This is going to take, because I knew, like, a lot of people think that fights, you know, they're like movie fights. They last like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you know, it's like, no, dude, fights last like 20 seconds, and that's a long fight, you know? Yeah. So I was like, that I already knew this is going to be like a few minutes, dude. Give me like 5 minutes. So just leave the car on. He's like, all right. And so he's like, this is so weird, but okay. And so I run, and there's nobody there yet. So I get there, and I'm like, oh, maybe he won't show up because it's like 3:05, and I'm looking, and he's even looking like, what? I see him like, wait, and I give him the look, like my hands up, like I shrug, like, I don't know, maybe he didn't show up, but let me wait like 5-10 minutes, And then, sure enough, he comes out. And he comes out with 2 other homies that were there. So now I'm thinking, oh, shoot, like, there's 3 fools. So now I'm not even thinking about the fight. Now instantly I'm like, this is not what we agreed. Instantly, right off the bat, I'm like, we did not agree on this, So now I'm scared because you didn't agree on this. Now I don't know how far we didn't agree on this. Did you bring a gun? Did you bring a knife? I have no idea. So I'm now shaking in my boots because I told Morgan to wait in the car. He could have came with me and had backup. We would have been fine. But now
you held your end of the bargain.
I held my end of the bargain. No weapons, hand to hand. Me meet him at 3 behind the women's club. I showed up.
Yeah.
And he showed up and I even had a homie, and I told him to wait in the car. I could have told him to come with me, but I'm like, no, we didn't agree to that. I told him just me and him. So you wait in the car, and I'll handle my business,
I wonder if this guy who you were supposed to fight alone, those friends of his came knowing it was you he was fighting.
I don't know. I think they did because when we talked before meeting, they were there. So
they were there.
And they were like on his side. So
right.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
So they probably were thinking, we probably got to be there.
Yeah. I think what they thought, which is what most kids think, is that you're going to back, like, this won't be. If we show up in 3, he's definitely not going to fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, and I don't say this story to be like a tough guy. I say this story to say, like, I was terrified, Yeah. And that's why I reacted the way that I reacted, right? And so no, because a lot of times, like, people tell these stories, like, nah, like, I was nervous. I mean, it's 3 fools, I'm not Bruce Lee, you know what I mean? Like, what the heck, like, what, and this is not what we agreed to, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, now I'm like, yeah, what if you came strapped? Like, I don't know now,
Yeah.
and I don't know you. And, like, I have no, like, there's no expectation for me to need to trust that you didn't bring an arm. You just broke the trust. You already broke it. So now I don't know how far that is, and I'm not obligated to know how far that is, right? So yeah. So now I'm thinking, what can I do to get the upper hand here? I'm 3-on-1. So I'm going to use my friendship with this guy.
Yeah.
So I look, and I'm like, okay, we're about to square up because he's getting ready and I'm getting ready. I'm like, okay, we're getting ready. And they're acting like they're not going to jump in, but I'm like, okay, like, they're here. They came for some reason.
They're going to.
Well, they came for some reason.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, you have to act like they're going to, right?
I can't assume they're not going to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like with the gun. You always assume it's loaded.
You assume it's
treat
loaded.
it as it's loaded.
As loaded, exactly.
Yeah.
Same deal, right?
Yeah.
And it's not what we agreed with. Again, I know I keep repeating it, but that's a big factor. If I agree and you don't, now I don't know. Now I can't trust. Like, what now? What did you bring? A tiger?
Yeah.
Like, did you bring a tank? Did you bring, like, what did you bring, dude? Samurais? Like, I don't know what you brought. Like, this is cheating. You know? And so based on the rules we agreed upon. Anyways, I'm like, okay, because I knew I just needed 1 second to really strike one of them really hard, so that I, at least for a few seconds, one will be really stunned or knocked out, and I can fight just 2 of them. But I need that 1 second to strike one of them really, 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 really hard, like as hard as I can, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I going to get that second, like that 1 millisecond? Because and then I thought, so then I thought, I go, hey, yo, homie, I don't want to name him. Let's say his name is Bob.
Bob, all right.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, Bob, listen here, Bob. I was like, we've been friends for a very long time. And you're one of my closest friends, And I've already said this to you when we talked earlier. This is exactly what I said, okay? I was like, so I was like, I already said it when we talked earlier, but I'm sad that we're fighting. I don't want to fight. Already, I don't want to fight but if we really are going to fight, Bob, and like we're gonna fight, like we're gonna throw hands. There's no other option. Like either we're gonna throw hands here, or you're gonna see me later. We're gonna throw hands, man.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna throw hands. If that's gonna happen, at the very least, being my friend, I would want the fight to be a fair fight. So can you please just tie your shoes before we fight?
Oh, shit.
And so right when I said that, he looked down confused. His shoes were completely tied. And so so his shoes were completely tied. But I just said, like, I want this to be a fair fight. Please just tie your shoes. That 1 second that I said, please tie your shoes, and I kind of like pointed at his shoes, he looked down. And the homies looked like, what? Like they also looked at his shoes.
Of course.
So they all looked. I was already in full sprint, and I was probably like just like 5 yards, like 5 yards away from him. So like
you were like 5 seconds from it.
Less
oh my god, 5
that.
milliseconds,
like
dude.
Big strides.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I like, but they were full sprint. I ran like for that second that he looked down, full sprint, and I like, you know, I'm a football player. I'm a soccer player, you know. So, you know, when you do a bicycle kick, you throw your whole body. So I kind of mixed Taekwondo, Muay Thai, and football.
Yeah.
All with this kick. Because I was horizontal with the ground. I was like parallel with the ground.
Yeah.
Jumped up, and he's short. So like my entire body, my whole body weight was level with his like head.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was parallel to the ground, and I just twisted with my whole body. So already being in the air like by his head, and I twisted and I kicked the hardest kick that like if I was kicking into a goal, like his head was, I was kicking into a goal, and just you know, no, that's how I imagined it. Like I just got a cross from a homie, and his head was the cross, and that point where his head was standing, and he looks up as I'm already in the air. Like I see his face look up as my foot's already, my foot's already swinging to his face. There's nothing he could do. There's absolutely nothing.
You pulled some Pele shit on him, dude. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. Some Maradona shit, you know what I mean? Like, let's freaking go. And so, and it was, and I used my friendship with him, you know? Like,
yeah, you're like, I am looking out for you, man. Yeah. like you fucking aglets.
Yeah, I was like,
tripping
dude,
off, dude.
I don't want you to trip, bro.
Yeah.
You know, trip. Yeah, your shoes untied. You look down. Boom. And it was all my body weight running full sprint, like fully in the air. So it was like not just my body weight torquing, you know, like torquing my hips.
Yeah.
But it was like my body weight running and launching into the air. And so like just body weight and legs just coming at, yeah. And like noticing it last second.
Oh.
Yeah. It's one of those, yeah. And it was so slow motion but fast at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I fall to the ground because like I threw my body with that much force. Like I knew, I was like, I'm throwing my body with my leg. It's not just my leg. I'm gonna throw my entire, like, because I knew I'm fighting 3 dudes. It has to be the hardest hit I've ever hit. You know, like that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, literally the hardest hit I can project with my body.
Yeah.
Like the most force I can project with my body, I need to project it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I jumped level with my body weight, torqued and spun and just wham. And I was scoring a goal for the World Cup right there. And so I collapse on my back, like on the side, you know, I fall on the ground. And then he like does the slow fall.
Oh,
and
no.
Because he was like knocked out. So he slumped. He got kicked, slumped. He instantly slumped over and then fell forward. Because he like got kicked so hard, his like, head snapped back and then he just went forward, like slumped forward. And he did that fall where it's like a wet towel fall.
Yeah.
Like where you don't bounce. You just go, like just, like just on the concrete, just slap. Like
it became the concrete.
Yeah, and then so I scramble up because I'm like, I'm still fighting 2 dudes.
Yeah,
you know, like my heart is still going. You know, it's not over. You know, at least in my head, right? For these fools, it was, but I didn't know that yet. You know, like I'm still like, you know, I kick him, I fall. he falls. I get up quick and I have my hands up and I'm like, all right, like, and I start, getting big. Like if you're fighting a bear, fighting multiple people, like, all right, because I'm in it already, because now I think, well, I just attacked him. They're going to definitely now attack me. And they're like, well, he just beat one. 2 of us can take him,
Yeah.
So I was like even more terrified now. I was like, oh, I drew first blood here, So like now I'm in it. I'm like, come on. I was like, come on. I was like, who's next? Who's next? And I was like, shaking my fist, like, let's go, probably foaming at the mouth, And they look at each other and then ran. And then just ran, left their homie there. And then I
just,
was
it's like your little
yeah. No, and then I start hearing that, right? So then I look down and I start hearing that, like just like
open,
like struggling, like face like shattered in pieces, like teeth everywhere, like oh my god, like, and I realized like, oh my goodness, like dude, I really messed you up. So then I start speaking the lesson that I was like, I told you, dude. I told you I didn't want to do this.
See, why'd you make me do that? Why?
Because like, why, dude? Like, come on, we were friends. What the heck? And so I make sure he's like at least okay to sit up, and like he's fine, whatever. Like I shook him, like, okay, you're good, you're alive. I ran back with my homie Morgan. I run around his car. I noticed as I was jogging back to the car, like as I noticed, I see Morgan's face, like he's staring straight at me with his mouth open for this, because this all took place in the span of like 5 minutes that I told him it would do.
Yeah.
So that's why he's like, what? Like, because imagine like and he's like, what? He's just like, yeah. And later, like, we hung out and he's told the story and he's like, dude, imagine just hanging out and you're like, I gotta fight. Like, what? Yeah, scheduled at 3. Like, huh? And then that's already weird, to him. He's like, that's already weird when he tells the story. And then he's like, then I parked there. Then this fool says, I'll be back in no more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not true. So I'm sitting there like, okay, leave the car on. And I'm just doing it out of curiosity, like leaving the car on and seeing. Then this dude does some Jackie Chan, like throws his body, does some like Liu Kang throwing, kick or something. Dude gets knocked out one kick. No fight takes place because he just knocked out one kick. Dudes run away. He runs back like nothing and is like, all right, let's go hang out. Let's go get food.
Yeah, like you could just continue
like,
with what you're going to do.
Yeah, and he's like, what the heck? Like, what do you mean let's go get food? I'm like, let's go get food. When you're hungry. Like,
I'm
starving.
I'm
starving, dude. I just had a bunch of adrenaline dump on me, But yeah, that was, but the shoe untied worked. It worked. It's classic. It works. It works. All right. So
you literally, that's like some Three Stooges type shit,
Dude, I just needed 1 second. Like by the time, because I knew I just needed him to look. Like I needed his head to turn, not his eyes to just look. I needed his head to turn in a direction. It didn't matter if he turned to like his friends. It didn't matter if it turned down. It didn't really matter. I just needed that second that he needed to turn his head entirely, so that I could have like 2 to 3 steps to do what I needed to do, And again, because I was terrified, it was 3-on-1. So, yeah. I mean, I was willing, but only because I was already in it.
Were you sore after this?
My shin was
a little bit,
yeah, but not too
You'd been
bad.
doing stuff like this in soccer,
taekwondo, soccer. Yeah, it was like
so you were kind of just
conditioned
to it,
for
right?
it. Yeah, it was. I mean, it hurt like I kicked somebody.
Right. Yeah.
But it didn't. It was fine. It was okay. Man. And my adrenaline too at the time. So you're fine at the time because you don't have time to like. It hurts, but it's like when your adrenaline's going, it's like it hurts, but you almost don't know you. Like feel it, but you almost don't notice it, if that even makes any sense.
Yeah, like, for sure. You just like, that happened.
Yeah, and it hurts, and you're like, oh shoot, that hurts, but I don't know why it's not bothering me right now. Like I can keep going. I'm like, okay, whatever,
To think that, so his were his teeth actually out?
Yeah, I think his teeth, his nose was messed up, like his eyeball was messed up. It was a bad scene.
This all came from him asking you to talk to a girl for him.
I mean, what am I supposed to do, dude? I just
ended up like, with half a mouth.
Yeah, And you could have just not been that mad.
Yeah.
You know, you could have just not been that mad.
I wonder what it is that, like, what made him think you didn't, what made him think you didn't talk to her?
Well, I just don't understand the privilege of, like, okay, so, like, it's like playing sports. Like, when you play sports, you know there's only two outcomes. Either you win or you lose. So, like, it's just the same thing when you shoot your shot. She either says yes or she says no. So, like, you're mad because, so you had 100% in your head. You were like, oh, 100% she's going to say yeah. What? That's a you problem, buddy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I can't solve that.
Yeah.
And actually, I thought I couldn't solve it, but I did with a swift kick in the face. Oh man! I kicked that problem in the face.
I say was because he's probably deformed now. Yeah. But like, was he a good-looking guy? You know?
Yeah. He was decent. Like I would say he was normal looking. Like he wasn't like busted or anything.
Yeah, I mean until
no,
right?
even at, he healed up. Yeah, it's fine. It wasn't like I changed his life with like the one kick.
Quasimodo and shit.
I probably if I kept kicking him, but that's the thing. Like that's the thing is like people don't. Like, man, like you not that I would keep kicking him when he's down, but because you're like waiting for me to say it and then I stomped on his face.
Literally, I mean, when I'm not 100% convinced you didn't when you were yelling at him and lecturing. Like, that's a perfect moment to just like, you piece of.
I was like shaking him, like
oh, okay,
pushing him.
Yeah,
like, dude, come on, this is what you, because I was frustrated. But I wasn't like hitting him anymore, because like I just needed that one, and it was fine. But that's the thing is like, dude, you really risk it when you break the rules. So what if I did bring a knife or a gun?
Yeah.
Because I just trusted him, and see, I mean, we were about to fight, and that was crazy that I even trusted him. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna listen and show up by himself, of course. And I could have came, with something, but I didn't, because I was like, no, he's my friend. At least he's gonna fight me man to man. That's at least. Yeah. Come on, what the heck? And so I didn't take anything. And then when he showed up with two fools, but what I'm saying is, what if I did take something? And then now that I see two people, oh well, now I'm gonna pull out the thing to even this out. You know what I mean? Because that's not fair. So
my question is, even if you found out, like say someone talked and said he's gonna have two people with him, would you still have gone the way you did, or would you have brought something, or would you not have shown up at all?
Nah, I think if I would have done it, I think I would have done it the same.
Just the same way?
Yeah. You know why?
It worked. I mean.
You know why? Because at that point when I had to show up, then I was mad, Like I wasn't mad, and I didn't want to fight, but then I got mad that I was even doing this, that my friendship was over with this person for like a make-believe thing that like, if I screwed him over, okay, like if he screwed me over or we had a really big misunderstanding. I mean, this is a big misunderstanding, but you know what I mean? Like a big misunderstanding that matters on something. This is such a nothingness, and I was fighting my like close friend.
Yeah.
So I'm now furious. Like, not even. Yes, he happens to be my friend, but I'm just furious now at this person is making me fight my friend.
It just came out of nowhere. It literally came out of nowhere. I'm
mad at the person that's making me fight my close friend. Yeah, that person happened to be my close friend.
Yeah,
that I'm fighting, and so then I was like even more mad. So I was so mad. Like, why are you making me do this? And then I show up, and I would have done it the same because even if they would have jumped in, I thought in my head, like, because the first time I talked to him before I went at 3:00, I knew there was a risk that I would have been jumped because I was gonna go to their group, and even my friends even asked, "Oh, do you want me to go to help, like for backup? At least just to stand there." And I was like, no, I don't want to. I was like, no, I think it'll be no. I just need me. Yeah. And mentally, I knew that it's more of a presence than you showing up by yourself to their group. Like, and I didn't bring 3 guys or 2 guys or 1 guy even. I knew you guys were hanging out here, and I came knowing that you're hostile and want to fight me. And I know that you're with your friends, and I'm going to show up by myself to talk to you about this, because I'm still at the point where I'm willing to fix this, but I'm still showing you that I'm willing to get it too. Like, let's, I mean, whatever happens. And so I went by myself, with that mentality. So I think even if I knew that they were going, I still think I
still
would have
been there,
because I still think that I probably would have lost. Let's say if they would have just from being outnumbered, but I think I would have hurt them like really bad to where like I would have felt satisfied.
Yeah,
like being outnumbered and still hurting them enough where I would have took it as a victory.
Well, you've had plenty of instances of like having to be the guy versus many.
Yeah, I mean, or our friends, like
Yeah.
you get outnumbered when you're with your homies and stuff like that, and you gotta start swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
It's just what it is, and so you kind of accept that. I don't think he had accepted it, or I don't know if he did. Maybe his friends, the homies did it, but like that's the thing is
I
like
doubt it.
That's the thing is that I tell people is like, even when you fight on the street, you're really signing a contract of like you're willing to go wherever this goes, and the reason being is because if I fight you on the concrete, and I've seen this before, so I mean I know it's funny and I know it sounds extreme, but I've seen it where people will fight and they think they're just having a normal boxing fight, and it's two guys that could go and fight and kick and go to the ground because it's a street fight, but they're both boxers, so they're kind of like with their body language agreeing that they're just gonna fight with their hands.
Yeah,
what I mean?
right. Yeah.
So even that, which I don't ever agree with, I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna choke you. I'm gonna kick you, like because that exists. Jiu-jitsu exists. Muay Thai exists. Like elbows exist. Like I'm gonna use them. So, but sometimes these guys that aren't really trained, they're gonna throw their windmills and they're gonna just throw their hands all crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what these guys agreed, and then guy gets clocked, face smashes because he gets knocked out, and no one is there to catch him. His face hits the ground, just instant blood just splatters on the ground. You don't see his face. It was one of those like wet nap drops, just boom like that, and you just see blood splatter and his teeth boom, and you're just like, oh my God. And I'm sure that's not what he signed up for. Even when he was like thinking in his head, oh yeah, we're gonna box, and sure I'm gonna get hit in the face. But like he didn't think my face is gonna land face first on the concrete. Full speed.
He didn't expect this twisting shit in the air and everything.
Oh no. I'm just saying in general.
Oh, just in general.
The guy
someone who knows how to fight versus someone who doesn't.
Well, no. I'm saying like people, like if I was to fight you, and we were on the concrete outside, you think, oh, we're just having a fight,
right?
My head I'm thinking
next level.
What if your face hits the ground,
right?
That's why we should avoid this fight at all costs, man. Because if your face or my face hits one of these walls or these corners, or if a car comes or something, or someone else comes out of nowhere and stabs you, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's so many variables. It's like, let's not do this, dude. Like, let's really not do this. But like, if we are in it, like now we're accepting all possibilities now. So now, okay, you brought 3 guys. That's why I did what I did, because I didn't. How am I supposed to trust that they're not showing up? That wasn't the agreement. So if you're showing up, I'm thinking you came to beat my ass. Like you came to beat me up. So now I'm going to fight violently and I'm going to fight strategically. And so like before I was just going to not fight. I was going to just fight, But now, okay. Oh, now it's a thinking man's game.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're playing chess. Okay, no, that's fine. I came to just play rock'em sock'em, but you want to play chess.
Yeah.
That's fine. Before we play chess, just tie your shoes, Oh, all right.
See, when you mentioned that thing about the concrete, I thought you were leading to your philosophy that you told me about when you travel and go to other countries and stuff.
Wherever I step is the United States of America.
I was like, that explains all the fighting.
Yeah.
Explains all the fighting. Every place I go to, every step becomes our territory.
I'm pretty sure
That's how it works.
I'm pretty sure there's legality to that. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me.
There's
on
that hidden clause.
But I'm pretty sure, like where your feet step, like your body space is the United. If you're a U.S. citizen, I mean that's USA. Hey. Now the French are like, this is France, and I'm like, what? Not where I'm stepping. Not right here where I'm stepping right here at this moment.
why don't you
America.
bring your prime minister to me?
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll settle it right now.
And we'll have a parlay.
Literally, you're the type of guy who's gonna pull that kicking shit on the prime minister of France.
You're too close, man.
And then it's like you expect everyone else. Actually, it's France. They might run. They might run, but try every other country. A war will be started.
We can't be kicking people, you know.
You didn't kick that guy. You fucking like I don't even know what that is. Like that's some fatality shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was crazy. I hadn't seen, and I thought with the force of my body, like it would just throw his body back.
No, I
even thought that in my head when I visualized it. You know,
yeah.
I was like, his body's gonna fall back, but I like snapped, like boom, like kicked so hard. And I managed to get just one leg, you know, to kick his like, but with all that force, you know, I didn't throw my whole like body on him. It was like right where my shin was, just wham, right on his face. And then, I saw his face snap back. He slumped forward and just leaned like the Tower of Pisa, and then friggin'.
If you've passed out, you know how everything just starts to separate in terms of what you can see.
Oh man!
Like I passed out, like I think last year at a trip, just not through those circumstances. But you just fall and then it goes black. I just imagine what this fucking guy was seeing before he went out, and he just. Shin. I know a shin, but like he's like he doesn't even know what he's looking at. Like at first he's just like, what the.
No, that's what's so crazy.
And then he went dark.
Oh, dude, it's just straight stars, just straight another dimension for a few minutes, maybe a lifetime, right? Like, and then he came back, and his like time is different. He had a whole life, a whole family, a whole life in another, and then wakes up back in this dimension.
Everyone I know is dead.
My family,
they're gone.
My family, what?
Oh, shit. So how's he doing these days?
He's good. He's good. You know.
Do you still talk to him?
Yes. Now we've reconciled and we're good. We're homies, and you know, after many years, you know, went by, and then we're good. But he makes music, and it's cool. Yeah.
Has he got a girlfriend, a wife?
We're not that close.
Okay.
We like.
You just know about
each other. We'll sometimes message each other every once in a while, but we never get. It's like, hey, what are you doing, or you know, comment on someone's story or something like that. But it's not anything like deeper than that. But yeah, that was a trip. That was how I lost my friendship with him for a long time. You know? It was pretty wild, you know.
It's like now in Rocky Balboa, you know how he has his restaurant and everything, and working under is the guy he fought in the first film.
Oh, that's right. You know, what's his name?
Spider. I think Spider Rico.
Yeah, Spider Rico.
He's like washing dishes and
There's
shit.
a Rocky game, and you have to fight Spider Rico.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's what it's like now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I think that's all the time we've been going. This is the longest one we've had so far. It was great. I had a great time talking to you, Daniel.
Same.
Is there any place that the people can find you?
Well, the Movie Fool Instagram and the Movie Fool TikTok. Definitely, those are two places that you can find me. And hopefully those things grow.
Yeah, and I would even recommend the channel, the show no one asked for. Yeah, because there's some great stuff on there.
And my partner on that show is still working that show, Saga MC. He makes music. Check out that stuff. He's on Spotify. He's on every outlet.
Sure, yeah.
But he's been dropping like singles like regularly. So if you like hip hop, and you like hip hop that says stuff, you know,
like conscious
stuff. Conscious hip hop. He's more on the conscious stuff.
Yeah, he is.
But Saga MC, check him out.
That
Saga
dad
MC.
rap.
Yeah, the dad rap. Exactly. Teaching you something.
Exactly.
Rapping, you know? But yeah, that's his thing. Saga MC, check him out.
Right on, man. Hey, Daniel, once again, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It was great. And yeah, everybody, thanks so much for listening. Have a great one. Stay safe. And goodbye.
Peace.